It is, in fact, Morgan Monday. We're back. Casual Morgan. Oh, there's the train. I just noticed that the apartment vibrates when the train goes by. That's a neat touch. That's a really neat touch. And yeah, let's see. We're rolling. The real world appeared in fiction, you dismiss it as schlocky and derivative. At this point, yeah. So, let's go through our evidence here. We've got a lot of stuff hanging around here. It's highly possible that, Miss Jung... Well, Helen Jung is, going to be the key witness today in the trial. The villains don't do what? So one-dimensional, right? Honestly. So one-dimensional and not sympathetic in the slightest. God, honestly. Let's see. So yeah, I remember the big kicker from the end of last stream was meeting with the board of Noble, with Helen as their mouthpiece and scapegoat of sorts. Yeah. Like the story between Helen and David and Noble, it's really messy and full of nuance to some degree. Compensation, grounds for dismissal, definition of what constitutes a breach of contract, and how arbitrations would be handled. Right, because like we found out pretty late in the game that David Asher was essentially on the outs from Noble, on their bad side. That's our emergency console. Valuation of Serra is worth more billions. I don't know if... I think we've used the relevance for this piece of evidence in the first part of the trial, because it was key evidence that David was inclined to be ending his own life. But we proved through his secretary that he was actively texting about making plans for the next day after having made this call, so that torpedoed Emma's motive for suicide. We also identified the drug that he was poisoned with, which was literally... Hang on. Scroll. Serotonin, a synthetic neurotransmitter that make up Noble's warm androids. And we were also discussing last time, like, the similarities between warm androids and the ads. What, no, not that. Similarities between warm androids and, Nope, it's not THC anymore, it's synthetic neurotransmitters. So it's... The mystery drug has been leveled in universe, unfortunately. Although maybe you could tell us about the chemical components of neurotransmitters, but it's synthetic neurotransmitters, which essentially powers their warm androids. And remembering, like, the history we've had of the development of their warm androids. Essentially, the key came into play from when they started bringing in mod producers. And so it's similar technology to the actual physical body mods that exist in this universe power their warm androids. So to make the synthetic components interact with the warm, fleshy components. So David was ended with serotonin. The unfortunate part is that let's start with the manufacturer. Can produce serotonin, and David's personal manufacturer has a preset for serotonin. And the key thing that booted us in the second half of this trial is this footage we uncovered of Serra being active, handing David the plastic cups that he and Helen would drink from, and that eventually killed him. Serra was active. Serra does not remember being active. But right now, Serra is on trial for the crime of killing and Serra is also accused of being AI. I'm very curious how this is going to come into play, because this has not come into play so far, the old chromofuge. Turns organic blood from red to pink. And so now the warm androids are all danganronped. Jessica Starling justifies that David had been harassed and stalked by conspiracy theorists. Let's see. He's been met with a psychiatrist more than one occasion. The office reminded Jess of Noble. And our boy, the former, I'm blanking on his name right now, our boy, the former corporate spy, said that the specific place that David was getting therapy at did both. So he might have been getting counter-espionage training or genuine psychiatric care. Or both. Now we can get into... Clever retort not found. Hello! Welcome. We are reviewing here. Found your channel? Hello there. Well, glad you found us. We're just reviewing our evidence before we're going into our second trial day here. Just sort of catching up, just getting started. A lot happened between our first trial day and now. Quite a lot happened. We've learned a lot about Serra. Found your channel, now found your streamer. Welcome. Enjoy watching your YouTube series, so found your Twitch. Oh, thank you. Noise Attorney pre-trial music. Honestly, Dark, this is more Danganronpa pre-trial music. That fits the vibes better, I think. Let's see. Neurotransmitters is a bit too biology for me, but synthetic hormone molecules all mostly follow that same. Okay, so there is truth to it. Oh, Don, I'm going to be late because I'm having a hot date with a hot button. Have a happy M-Break Monday. Oh no, Freya. Oh no. Let's see. Whiskey. I think most of this is still gone. David had a platinum plant in his own name to pay for psychiatric appointments. It doesn't keep anything off of didn't really keep anything off of Noble's books, but this is still completely unexplained. Because he had the platinum plan, and then he had the executive 4 plan through work. like, maybe the platinum plan was just him hedging his bets since he knew he was on the outs from Noble. Which, fair enough. What else can we do here? Did they state one plan was fake? Did they? I don't think so. It's like this was the plan he had on file. And like this, at least in our notes, it specifically says that this one is paid for by Noble. So this is his like employee benefit, is employee allocated friggin' health insurance, which he would lose since he is on the outs here. Like, they are negotiating his resignation. They are negotiating writing him out of the company, in essence. Which, I guess, if he is on the outs, this could have been just him starting to hedge his bets and protect himself, knowing that he was gradually on the way out. I don't know. Oh, we picked up all this stuff. There's whole sorts of oddities happening with the warm androids being shipped out. Back to my hot take. Have you proven that Old Man Jenkins was the killer yet? No, not yet. Not yet. Happy Mpreg Monday, Freya. We are still reviewing. Evangeline Morgan is to be given the absolute ownership of the android Serra, effective immediately. Tax-free transaction, fortunately. We do not want to get taxed on $1 more billion. That's for the game with meddling kids. I'm going to this trial, my trial, with a lot less ammunition than I'd like. I'm beginning to form a picture of what actually happened, maybe even circling the drain on the suspect. Unrelated, why do people keep misremembering Old Man Jenkins as a Scooby-Doo villain when he's from SpongeBob? What? God dang Mandela effect. But Emma won't be generous enough to give me breathing room. She'll want to end this fast. Oh, no breathing room, eh? Maybe if I do badly enough, it'll flip her sadistic switch and she'll want to keep playing. Which? Oh no! So you got charged with owning an AI. First time you do something exciting in your whole life. And I gotta find out through the fucking grapevine? My life is plenty exciting. Freckles. You could bore the polish off a resume-checking robot. I fuck cat with school teachers with more active night lives than you. Ooh. Okay. So who'd you rope in? Anyone I know? Oh shit. Are you representing yourself? Fits within my budget. Screw your budget, you're going to jail. Exciting as murder foreplay. It's hey, we can imagine. Morgan is going full dark eyes here, so Mom is not on good terms. Oh yeah, but that's right, Aunt. Thanks for the vote of confidence. And a matter of how good a lawyer you are. Anyone who represents themselves in court is a fool for counsel. You represented yourself countless times. Not for anything I had a chance of losing. Your pal hasn't even been dead 48 hours. You're too close to this. You'll make mistakes. The powers that be really didn't want to give me a rain check. They're taking this very seriously. It's more dangerous than that. They're scared. Is there precedent? An ad committing murder. How'd you pass law school without learning how to look this stuff up? I know what the net says. I'm asking you. The answer to that is not helpful to you at the moment. So what words of advice do you have? Get yourself a new lawyer. Gotta close this chat now. Don't lose, Freckles. Oh, a rare bit of honesty at the end of that. Guess it's case 5 when we have to represent ourselves or someone of being the heartbreak killer. The trick is not to prove that you didn't do it. The state doesn't have enough evidence to convict Morgan. Like a repeat of case 0, but in court. Which realistically, like, I can't imagine the heartbreak killer thing ever coming to a trial. Like, if anything, it ends with a confrontation with Morgan behind the scenes. Like, it ends. Like, if anything, the heartbreak plotline would end with like a confrontation between Morgan and Emma behind the scenes outside of court. That's not going to trial. I don't see that ever going to trial. You don't need to tell me that. Serra! What are you reading, Adonai? I was reading David's employment contract with Noble Electronics before I got waylaid by spam texts. The one we found inside the panic room? It looks quite extensive. Should I skim it for you? Depends. Did you pass the bar exam since we last spoke? You comfortable? I am not. Ever see that old movie with the gorilla and the skyscraper? They bring it to the city and... I understand the analogy, Adonai. Wish I could call it overkill. But considering the specs Serra put up yesterday, maybe those bindings aren't heavy enough. Come to think of it, those numbers must have been faked along with the rest of what the machine read. That was all a smokescreen David added to help her lay low, then her actual strength is more like... If your joints weren't currently locked up tighter than a vise, do you think you could escape this place? I hope that question is not indicative of your strategy. This is me trying to distract you, Serra. Enjoy the hypothetical. I would estimate that the building's automated security would put 9 holes in me before I reached that door. 9's not so bad. I would not be able to function after the 7th. Ah. Well, if you haven't been planning some great escape. I would not do that. That would be illegal. And you would still be on trial. I remember. So what have you been doing all day, then? Oh, I have the power to tear this building limb for limb. But I wouldn't do that, because that's illegal. I'm attempting to recover memories from Friday. You can do that? It is not dissimilar from the process of recovering data erased from any other computer. Despite the difference in scale. I won't be able to remember everything, but if successful, I could recall individual pieces of information that could prove useful. That's a lot of coulds. And even if you're successful, you may not like what you find. Corrupt the android. No! Protect Serra. Honestly, I love the implication that Serra's influence might actually uncorrupt Morgan to some degree. Crime is based, Serra. Oh no! Whatever happened that day, either you or David wanted you to forget it. Yes, but even so, I have to remember because it's the last day that Father and I. Any luck so far, then? I can recall a slightly musty scent. Wow, case closed. Oh, pout. What about you, Adonai? Have you formulated a plan for this trial's proceedings? Something like that. Jung insists that serotonin isn't what killed David. I don't buy it. There's no other explanation for how he died. So she is lying? And if she repeats that lie on the stand, I'll need to expose it. Somehow. Would she really commit perjury to protect Noble? To protect one of Noble's patents? She doesn't strike me as quite the corporate zealot she makes herself out to be. But you believe that she had something to do with Father's death. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know why anyone would kill Father. Considering the possible consequences of what he confessed to in his journal, I can think of... Then again, I don't understand why anyone would kill anyone. Do you? Bells tolling for thee. Means that the doors to the courtroom are unlocked. Let's... Wait, can you walk like that? What we'll have to do. Wait a second, across the hall, that's... Oh, Isaac. Hmm? Keep waddling, Serra. I'll catch up. As you say, Adonai. This'll be a coin toss. You that surprised to see me? I'm not surprised you'd want to see the outcome of this trial. I am surprised you'd want to talk to me. You're defending the android, right? Be honest, be clever. Be honest. Yeah. I'm defending Sarah's innocence. I don't think she killed David. Do you? I don't think... I don't think it matters. Noble is what killed David. That's the correct answer, Isaac. There will be a specific guilty party, but in the end, Noble did kill David. In some degree. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the whole, the Hebrew imagery, David and Serra, biblical names. Asher sounds like the name Asher too. Yeah, Serra comes out calling Morgan Adonai. And God, I'm completely blanking on the names of all of David's 300 AI children, but I feel like they were all references too. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, the David's AI children were cities and poets, and then they started naming themselves in similar veins. Okay, yeah. That makes more sense. But yeah, it's definitely not there just to be, yes, Virgil and Homer got married. Got married and became something new. It is delightful. I love that for them. But yeah, it's not like a... It's not references done lightly. So I don't think we need to worry about that. Noble's what killed David. Whether it was with a pen stroke or a sleeper agent killer android or plain old goddamn arsenic, How could anyone that smart be that dumb? You'd be surprised. Why the hell did he ever sign his soul over to them? David may have been in over his head, but he wasn't a bad negotiator. I've read his contract. His position was strong. You're the lawyer. But a guy like me, working in music? Can't tell you how many people I've seen screwed over by a big smile and a fat signing bonus. No such thing as corporate generosity. You got that right. If you think you're getting a good deal, it's only because you don't know how much you've just sold. How much you just sold. David's real wealth lied in his intellectual property, the potential energy of it hanging over the whole industry. If he sued even 1% of the companies taking inspiration from his Turing solution. There's a clause in his contract. If Noble ever did fire David, he would have retained control over all his patents afterwards. Yeah, see, that sounds nice. Only they never did fire him, did they? They forced him to retire. He just happened to die. An unforeseeable act of God. In contract law, they call that force majeure. Hello? I said, did you find anything interesting in the contract, Adonai? A few things, yeah. Basically, David was well taken care of, so long as they kept him around. And he retained control of his patent, even after being let go. What Porter said. Logically, if David were to pass while still employed, Noble would continue to control the bulk of his IP. So if they knew David was going to leave in a year, it would be very foolish of them to let Father go. They wouldn't do it for no reason. This contract, he could only be fired for serious offenses. Corporate malfeasance, revealing trade secrets, fraud. Father was not a fraud. He was, as they say, the greatest of all time. The GOAT. Fraud just means lying to the company about something, Serra. Oh. Eyes up. Showtime. Councillor Morgan. Old Lady Judge. The state charges you with possession of contraband. Contraband? That'd be you. In violation of the Safeguarding Our Nation Digital Security Act. How do you plead? Not guilty. Very well then. Since it seems that we are in fact doing this, I'll now turn over the administration of this trial to the adjutant. 80's here! But be warned, any attempts at stalling or muddling the issue, and I'll step right in and override the trial myself. Summary judgment, siding with the people. Are we understood? Yes, Your Honor. Are we going to have the same adjutant as we did before? No way. Its courthouse only has so many bodies, but the personalities swap around all the time. The chances of us dealing with the same glitchy mess as yesterday are... Glad to be back! Did you all miss me? Welcome back, 80. Hi, Emma. Forget I said anything. I'll just go crawl under a rock and die while you make all your opening statements. The defendant is the owner of the android registered under the model name Serra with license number 120292880. She hasn't contested this, and I doubt she will. The question of ownership is already answered. All that remains to determine whether Serra qualifies as contraband. Imagining that she specifically requested to be the adjutant again because she just needed to hear the tea. Yes, really. It had to be her. Of course it had to be her. It's a charming android. Incredibly well made. A masterpiece and the last known work of a great man. When we look at the evidence and the facts surrounding the death of Dr. Asher, we're forced to conclude that said android is responsible for his death. The conclusion carries very serious implications. I'll prove here in court today that the machine standing there killed David Asher. Not through an accident or mismanaged dosage, but through an intentional poisoning. I won't ask the court to judge this machine on its apparent sentience, its range of emotions, or the free will it may or may not possess. I only ask that the court judge this creation on what we will prove it to be more than capable of. Patricide. Jack Tully. Ooh, wouldn't want to have to follow that act. But go for it anyways, defense. Your Honor, what the DA said is true. What'd you just say? Did you just admit it? Sorry, just the first part. This android is charming, and is the work of a great man. The rest of it was pure speculation, based on little more than a few bad camera angles and a phobia of anything new. The to own the android you see here. It was bequeathed to me by a man known to most of the people in this courtroom as the father of modern machine intelligence. To me, he was just my friend. If I thought at any point that this puppet had anything to do with his death, I would have dragged it to the chopping block myself. Thank you there, Serra. I'm just being mean to drive the point home. I don't believe that. I never have. Serra is an android, nothing more. He's incapable of homicide and didn't even commit manslaughter. It's just a well-made machine. Any fears one has about its capabilities are projections, nothing more. It troubles me greatly that the state is spending valuable time and resources on rushing to pulverize Dr. Asher's last known work, when it could be going after the very real, very human forces that were responsible for his death. Is she serious? Is she talking about Noble? People can't prove that Serra is an AI. And truth be told, I can't prove that it isn't. But I can prove that it's not guilty. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Chills. You sounded very confident, Adonai. Yeah, well, no one ever got good at lying by being modest. You could have simply said thank you. Hey, we're working on it. Hey, London! Thank you for your presence here today, Detective London. In light of the new evidence, I'd like to go over the death of Dr. Asher one more time. What happened Friday night? At 6:30 p.m., David Asher spoke on the phone with his lover, and the two of them broke things up. It's the boy. Lover? It's an accurate description of their relationship, isn't it? I wouldn't know. That stuff's private. Adonai. The deceased met with Noble VP Helen Jung in his parlor starting around 7:30 p.m. He then left the parlor and the sidelines of his home security system, before reappearing on his private secondary security system in his basement moments later, at which point the android Serra can be seen handing him... Oh yeah, 80s face in the background. Oh, she's looking... She's flustered. She's shook. She's flustered. She's got the hots too. At this point, the android Serra can be seen handing him the poison he'd go on to drink. And do you see that android in this courtroom? Yeah, she's the green-haired one that's frowning at me. The record showed that the android Serra has been identified at the scene of the crime. No objections? None? Then why did he even show up? Detective London, what happened next? She went upstairs and shared a drink with Miss Jung. Within a few minutes, he was being airlifted to the hospital. He was soon declared dead. He knew that the poison could be produced by his manufacturer, which Serra had access to, just at the stairs in his workshop. Though Serra had ample opportunity to procure the poison, and Serra handled Dr. Asher's cup immediately before he did. Is there a question in that statement, Your Honor? I'll rephrase. Was anyone else seen handling Dr. Asher's cup before he died? No. I have no further questions. I can see why Jess would like London, but I'd look at Porter like, you're telling me he's newly single? Sir? Sir, please? I will be somewhat more attentive than David was. I promise you, sir. I promise you. Hi, 80. So tall. I think the only thing that changed here is, yeah, not his fault David dropped the ball. We can be there for you, Isaac. Couldn't be terminated without serious cause, fraud or worse, manipulating company data. Which is only something if David was the one responsible for manipulating that shipping data. That might be the conclusion we're heading towards here. That would be concerning. What I want to do here. Hongshu. So that's your witness, counselor. Wasn't lying per se, but there was some ambiguity in the statement he gave. Truth's gotta come out one way or another. If Emma won't push, I'll have to pull. Dock screen. Basement footage. Whiskey. 6:30 p.m., David Asher and Isaac Porter broke up on the phone. And at 7:30 p.m., Helen Jung arrived. I spoke briefly, then he went downstairs to get drinks for them. Cameras in the basement shows Serra handling the cups and the whiskey. After he came back to the parlor and started drinking, it wasn't long until he lost consciousness and died. Drinking poisoned whiskey while he thought he was having a toast. I don't know if that's a good way or a bad way to go out. I had a slight slip up in there. the whiskey still in evidence? Talk screen. $7:38. I'll go nowhere, but at this stage, I need to pick at every loose thread I can. Woke up with a phone. Helen Jung arrived. Spoke briefly. He went downstairs to get drinks for them. Serra handing him the cups and the whiskey. After he came back to the parlor and started drinking. Did Serra only handed him the cups, didn't he? Pretty certain Serra only handed him the cups. Just the cups. Because he went and got the whiskey himself. Serra handed him the cups. Want to bet? Check the footage again, Detective London. We only see Serra handing the victim a cup. He had already retrieved the whiskey himself. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Detective London just wasn't being specific enough, Your Honor. But it matters little, since it was David's cup, not the whiskey bottle that was poisoned. Weird flex, but okay. And that undeniable fact is shown clearly in the security footage. Serra hands him a cup after he was ready to leave. In other words, David went upstairs forgetting the cups, forcing him and Helen to just take turns shotgunning it. Honestly. I understand the novelty of the story with the plastic cups and whatnot, but it would have honestly been way more hardcore if they just shotgunned it. Is there any homework? Yep. True. She did call David back and handed him a cup of poison. I can actually save here. But I agree. The cup was already poisoned. Don't you think David would have noticed it wasn't empty? Well, not necessarily. The lethal dose could have been quite small. If it were just a droplet, you could have easily overlooked it. For Serra, this crime was very simple. There was too little to the plan for anything to go wrong. Once she handed it off, she just had to wait for him to drink from his cup. That's all she needed to do. Just had to wait for him to drink from his cup. If it were just a droplet, he could have easily overlooked it. That doesn't necessarily make sense. Because, like, what if Helen drank? What if he gave the poison cup to Helen? Not a great plan if that really was Serra's, but we're going to get dinged here. You give him 2 cups. How would she have known which cup David would drink from? There are a few ways to go about it. But it's only a 50-50 shot, Counselor. Stranger things have happened. Really? We're at this at it again? They're identical cups. Don't try and bluff me, Rockford. There was no difference between the cups. It's not a bluff. Serra handed the cups to him in one stack, with the poison hidden in the bottom cup. Alright, that's... You know, David was courteous and would pour for his guest first. So he would even look into the poisoned cup until he was ready pouring. Cold-blooded patricide. Executed by taking calculated advantages of Dr. Gasher's kindness. That was just mean. Damn, she was luring me in with those easy answers. I fell for it. Emma did study criminal psychology, huh? Now, there's some questions we'd like to ask the detective while he's available. Or are you done already? Just about to get started. If I didn't have questions, I'd mix them up just to spite you at this point. But I can do better than that. What can I get London to say that would help my case? I get the... I'm gonna say, oh yeah, blackjack time. I'm gonna say... We've got a bad... I love how we got a bad hand here. Let's ask... To answer the police. Knights of London, in their capacity as assistants to the police force, are androids ever asked to commit acts of violence? Yeah, I guess so. They can push people, restrain them, arm them. Does that constitute a violation of their tenets, harming the people they're supposed to protect? Well, as I understand it, there might be some complex weighting math that goes into it, but no, it's not breaking any tenets. That to be the case, they'd have to have tenet 1, right? May not injure or through inaction lead to blah blah blah. Yeah, I suppose that would have to be the case, wouldn't it? Are you asking me? Okay, that was just mean. It's far outside his expertise. That was just mean. This footage we just saw, could you see what Serra was doing? Not exactly, no. Her back was to the camera and her hands are obscured. Could you see her hands from any other clip of camera footage retrieved in the basement? No. Did you or anyone else participating in the investigation ever see Serra put anything in David Asher's cup? No. The footage submitted to the record is the best available view of what happened. I don't care. I don't care about cheating. Jeff, do you know how many violent incidents this city's police had investigated in the last year? Not the exact number. The thousands, though? Yeah, around there. Not the thousands in incidents of violence. Do you know how many of them were found to be the fault of automated dependents? I believe there's been 6 in the last 5 years. Are all 6 of them incidents of police licensed to add involved brutality? Irrelevant, Your Honor. Withdrawn. Alright, we are going somewhere. Not sure where we're going quite yet, but... What about the view from the android itself? Well, yeah, if we could see through the android's eyes, that'd be pretty conclusive. If we could trust any data touched by her, yeah, that's, alright. This is mean. That's what I get for playing in High Roller. As an aside, Detective, do you know how many tenants are recognized in this country? 110? 112 as of this year. Could you have given me that one? Yeah, you're right, but still. Do you know how many of them, these tenets, pertain to protecting humans from harm? That one I do know. 41. And Novelty Detective, how many times in the last, say, century have we seen automated dependents break their tenets? 5 times is the agreed upon number. If you were to tally that all up and try to make an evaluation as a police officer charged with protecting civilians, overall you would say that automated dependents in general are how dangerous to the public. The witness is not an expert on automated dependents, Your Honor. He's more than qualified to say whether they have a history of violence, Your Honor. Oh, what the heck, let him answer. Thank you, Your Honor. I have to say that they are not dangerous. That would have brought me some doubt with the jury, but this isn't a traditional trial. At least I can say that I shored up my own confidence. Alright. That seems like that's as close as I'm gonna get to blackjack. I busted 3 times, but that's just because I'm an idiot. I believe I've made my point. I have no more questions for this witness, Your Honor. Then we can move on to the next item of the docket. Looks like Emma wants to introduce some new evidence. I call Serra to the stand. The android? Can she even do that? Approach, Your Honor. Oh, you're approaching me. I believe that it's me they wanted to speak with. I didn't even get to finish my line. Now then, what the hell are you doing, Rockford? Took the words right out of my mouth. I have questions for the android. This seemed like the best way to get answers. You can't call an android as a witness. It's not a person. There's plenty of precedents for it. I had to provide testimony all the time. Not when they're on trial. Serra isn't on trial. You are. They updated all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure into the JudgeBot's loading base, honestly. Serra's accused of being an AI. That means you don't trust a word out of its mouth. If the witness isn't to be trusted, the court can decide that for itself after hearing their testimony. Why the ambush? Why don't you list this as entering evidence, D.A. Rockford? Only people can be witnesses, Your Honor, and ads don't have legal personhood. Evidence seems like the worst descriptor. You know I can't make an android swear an oath. Rockford is just trying to spoil your opinion, Your Honor. The more this court treats Serra like a person, the more you'll see her as human. The weaker my case becomes in your eyes. Nice try, Counselor. But you don't have time to worry about my impartiality. You're free to call for a mistrial if you want, but the state will have turned Serra to slag before you can even finish signing your motion. Rockford's calling a witness that is blatantly hostile to her case. If the witness is hostile, so be it. It did kill a man, after all. Allegedly. What about the right to avoid self-incrimination? Who's the one treating Serra like a person now? Androids don't have rights. Oh, this is mean to me! Damn it, this whole trial is mean to me. The android will take the stand. Your Honor, I've made my decision. If Serra refuses to take the stand, I'm going to charge it with contempt of court. If the machine won't talk, you'll make every effort as its owner to ensure that it does. If it disobeys you, then we'll have our answer about its sentience right then and there. Yes, Your Honor. Shit. What's going on? The DA is going to question you on the stand. What? But I shouldn't. Listen to me. You don't have a choice right now. This is happening. Tell the truth, but be concise. The more robotic, the better. Yes or no's only, if you can. When you say affirmative and negative, be laying it on too thick? But Adonai, if I make a mistake, all these people, they want to destroy me. If you make a mistake, your lawyer will just have to cover for you. Wonder what happened if you fucked up hard enough that you didn't have enough chips for that health check. I do wonder if it's like a game over check, or if just like you just get no bonus points. If you make a mistake, your lawyer will just have to cover for you. Understand? Yes. Do your best. You are the android identified as Serra, correct? Yeah. Affirmative. Do you deny that this camera footage shows it? Do you deny that this camera footage shows you handling the poisoned cup? Objection. It remains to be seen whether the cup itself was definitively poisoned. Yes. Serra, do you deny handing that cup to David Asher? Negative? I have no memory of the incident, so I can neither confirm nor deny it. Do you have any reasoning, any excuse for your actions, for failing to notify police of crucial information? I don't have any records for that day, so I never had anything to tell anyone. Very well, Counselor. The journal, if you will. This could be a slaughter. Of course. Do you recognize this item? It's a journal that belongs to Dr. David Asher. I have seen him write in it on many occasions. And have you any knowledge of its contents? Negative. You don't have to answer that, actually. Tell the court what you see here in this footage. I see myself reading the journal in the basement. This footage was captured on Friday, the day you claim to have no memory of. So regardless of what you do or don't remember, we know that you read this journal hours before Dr. David Asher died. That is logical. I'd like you to read some passages from it for the court. And you do that? Of course. Page 238, the 10th line. Serra is growing faster than I ever expected, beyond my wildest dreams or fears. Today she... Continue, please. Today she broke every password I have at the house, said she was curious. I can't expect to keep things from her forever. Page 251, line 12. I've gravely underestimated the scope of things. Serra could change everything, and I don't think I could stop her. Oh, that's concerning. He wasn't... Page 263. Damn it. This keeps up, Sarah's going to fall to pieces up there. I mean... If this penalizes me, I'm going to be very mad. Like, I know the score is meaningless, but... What would your objection even be? Hey, don't judge me for wanting to protect my daughter. Do not judge me for wanting to protect my daughter here. Even if I know, it's... Yeah, alright. I believe in you. Don't have a leg to stand on here. And Serra doesn't have a shred of legal protection to speak of. Yeah, objection, mean to her. You're out here being all logical and stuff, and I'm just trying to... I just have to let this play out. Page 263, I said. I think Serra was angry today. When I came back from work, she had... ripped a Zinn alloy plate in half. She said she was testing her strength with the cameras. That was... Page 267. Serra scared me today. If she starts bawling on the stand, it's all over. Your Honor, I fail to see the value in continuing this line of questioning. Dr. Asher was wary of a highly experimental android he was building, as any good scientist would be. That's been established. Do the people have a counter-argument? I have just one last question, if it pleases the court. Let's hear it. This footage was captured in the basement on Friday at around 5:30 p.m. Tell the court what you see. I see myself, standing where I was when I read the journal. I'm speaking to someone who's off camera, and I appear agitated, and I stomp my foot. Is that what caused the crack in the floor? And what happens to the floor after you stomp your foot? A large crack is made in the vulcanized polymer. And I walk off camera towards whomever I had been speaking to. Speaking or shouting? Asked and answered. Not really, but I'll withdraw the comment, nonetheless. Your witness, Counselor, or evidence if you prefer. Damn. I knew she could cherry-pick all the worst passages from the journal, but still. If Barris wasn't wavering before. Did I try to have Serra read the mushy parts? No, the waterworks would start after only a few lines. I went to all that trouble to show how emotionally developed Serra is. Proving that she loved David like a father would be playing right into her hand. What do you say, Counselor? Got some burning cues for the android to answer? I show up, I see cute redhead, I accept. Hello, Lamp! Yes, Your Honor, just one moment. Emma went for emotion and the impact was devastating, so all I can do is focus on the facts. Let's flip this around. Say Serra absolutely didn't poison David. If that's the case, why did she call him back on his way out of the basement? We love baggage. Wait, that's... I'd actually like to ask you to read from the journal again, Serra. You would? From where? Anyways, to catch you up, we're this is our android daughter. Her name is Serra, and she's on trial for murdering her dad. And our trial is not going well so far. That's 80 in the background. She's our judge. She got the Valley Girl personality installed, and I love her. And the section that explains what you were actually trying to do that night. The section of his journal detailing. You're actually trying to how he made Serra? Yeah, we're on trial. That's right. We are on trial for owning a killer robot. It's entirely for self-interest, you see. Morgan is not sentimental at all about her android adopted daughter. Sarah's early growth. David's feelings toward her. The journal entry don't actually say all that much. Last entry ends abruptly, dated a week ago. Early growth, David's feelings. This then explains what you were actually trying to do that night. Okay. Serra absolutely didn't poison David. Why did she call him back on his way to the basement? It's gonna ding me anyways, but... It is a section of the journal all about Serra. Yeah. If she reads any more of that, she'll burst into tears. My case will go up in flames. One section details his struggles with newfound notoriety. It is something much more personal. Really? Okay. I don't care. I'm not taking those penalties. Don't judge me. This trial's rigged against me. It resets the blind when we reload, so that's my fitting punishment for... That's my punishment for reloading. Yeah, I need those chips to buy 1 million more Serra keychains. Do they have keychains for sale yet? Honestly, if they don't, they should. Look around the early section. There should be an entry talking about an early victory at Noble. Relevance. The people will see in just one moment that this story is the key to this entire case. Oh? Got approval from overseas. I have to make pitch again this week, Jung says. He brought me a stack of plastic cups. Used to a bright future together. Then on this next page... Wait, was this in... Another victory for the young and the sleepless. Helen convinced the president of futures over lunch that my code should be the basis for the animate 13's conversational tracking. Insisted on toasting the same crappy booze in the same cheap cups. Wants to make a tradition. Plus the cups and liquor. A ritual between Helen Jung and David Asher, who are about to have a drink together Friday night. Something you want to say, counselor? Let's put all our cards on the table, shall we? You want to compare theories? If you'd rather I end this now, I'd be happy to oblige. Here's what we know. She's given us the look. Serra read that journal and discovered what she was. It infuriated her, and she wanted revenge for being kept under her maker's thumb. That very night, she got her chance when Dr. Asher came down looking for a drink. Like the clever little helper she is, she offered him a cup to drink out of. We were completely in agreement on all of that. You also agreed that the cup was poisoned, and that Serra's responsible for his death. Not quite. It's not a bad explanation, Miss Rockford, but it is terribly complex. There's a much simpler reason for why Serra did what she did. Yeah, none of this makes sense here. Like, this is the only explanation here. If Serra, yeah, if evidence board, she's a good girl. I'm going all in on Serra being a good girl. Going all in on Serra being a good girl. Argument about the cups is disproven by the journal entry. Yeah, the journal entry... The journal entry telling the story of the tradition, yeah. Yeah. Even if she did read the story about them, and she's just like, Father! Because David went and just got the whiskey. And then Serra called him back to say, hey, I got cups. Don't you want to do the thing with your friend who you're so friends with? It would be so Serra to... It would be so very Serra to have read that story in the journal and thought, oh, that's Dad's close personal friend who he has this cute tradition with. Dad, you forgot your cups. And not even knowing that Helen is likely on the verge of ousting him from from his company and his life's work. Not knowing that they're actually in a very strong falling out here. A story for the journal. You're saying Serra wasn't planning anything. She was just being considerate. That's so sweet. Even if she was mad, she'd want to make sure he doesn't forget the special cup because she loves him. She's a good girl. Yeah. I don't follow it, like, at all. It's actually quite simple. Serra's not an AI. She only threw a tantrum that day because she found out she was being spied on. Realistic reaction for an android designed to be realistic. David Asher set her memory to be clear to himself because he wanted to preserve the experiment he was running. My parents can be cut fruit instead of saying that they're sorry. Even when I would very much prefer they say they're sorry. Oh no! Oh no! Serra didn't hatch a plan to poison him using an obscure chemical acquired from the lab. And she did subtly manipulate David into drinking from only one of the 2 cups. Because the android read the whole journal that day. Meaning she also read how David and Jung used to celebrate. And so when she saw David was leaving the basement without the nostalgic cups, we called him back to hand them to him. Simple, right? Simple enough for me, but not nearly good enough for me. Oh, Miss Emma. What's more likely, Mr. Rockford? That a well-made, clever android proposed a sentimental addition to 2 friends' evening? Or that a homegrown AI with groundbreaking physical and digital abilities concocted a complicated poisoning scheme just to kill an unimposing man? All on camera, mind you. He's given us that look before voluntarily submitting to a memory wipe. People make all kinds of stupid mistakes when they commit crimes, Counselor. We shouldn't expect an AI to act much differently. Is it stupid or dangerous? Can't have it both ways, Your Honor. We can't have it's ignorant of its power, and still immature. A deadly trait to have in an AI that's capable of anything. Shall we see what Serra's capable of then, Your Honor? What? You can't be... Your Honor, that's... People open the door. True. I can't resist open doors. Let's do it! What do you even... Serra? David Asher was your creator and your designated owner, correct? Should I still be using affirmative? Now that title falls to me. Yes? Great, thank you. Now turn off. What? Shut down, that's a command. Night-night. Power on. What are you... Off. On. How did I don't... Off. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is what this fearsome machine menace is capable of. She's so fearsome. I can put it to sleep with one word. So how could David Asher ever be threatened by it? Woo-hoo-hoo! Flicking light switch on and off. Welcome to hell, welcome to hell, welcome to hell, Serra! Could David Asher ever be threatened by it? Oh, scary. Scary good logic. You've made your point, Counselor. Let's move it along. I have no further queries for the machine, Your Honor. Good job, Serra. I'm proud of you, and I'm sorry. Thank you. For flipping you off and on? Can't imagine that was comfortable. It wasn't. But I wasn't referring to that. Since yesterday I've been searching for an answer to why I appeared on that camera. I know I would never hurt Father, but you helped me prove that to myself just now. Adonai? Pardon me, I need to focus. Everything depends on this next witness. Helen? People call Helen Jung to the stand. Do you think Serra would like person of interest? Would Serra befriend the machine? Absolutely. You're so right. Lame is absolutely getting down bad my voice chat right now. Hi, Jake. Yes, there are many reasons. There are many good reasons here, Jake. There are many good reasons. Helen Jung, Vice President of Android Futures and Nova Electronics Eastern Division. Miss Jung, you were there when the night Dr. Asher died, and you were on camera the entire time. That's correct. So what did you see that night? I arrived at 7:30 p.m., as you know. David and I talked in the parlor. Then he left to retrieve some refreshments for us. After drinking together for a short while, he fell ill. I contacted emergency services, and I'm sure you're all tired of hearing the same details over and over by now. The same details over and over aren't going to hold up anymore, Madam Veep. Madam VP, I know, but it's more silly to say Madam Veep. It's still unclear to me whether Jung is more concerned with protecting herself or the almighty company. Serra agreed with me that Harold Finch is a deadbeat. Correct. It'll clear up real fast if I can turn up the pressure on her here and now. Here we go. Journal. Arbitration. Jung's story. I came to Davis at 7:30. We chatted for a short while about some low-priority work. Nothing heavy. Low-priority work, huh? Before long, he offered to fetch us some refreshments. That feels like the point we're going to object to. When he came back, we shared a drink together. At the time, I didn't notice anything strange. We were just reminiscing. I didn't think his life was in danger. But then he became ill. So I ran into the kitchen to activate his emergency console, and I did what I could up until he was gone. She's trying to paint a different picture of what happened that day. Can't let her set her tone as she pleases. That is, oh shit. Open your mouth without thinking, huh? There's only room for one airhead in this courtroom, and it's not you. Okay. I'll take that one. It's me. Oh, 80. Of course, Your Honor. Not fast enough. Yeah, time ran out. Is this the right piece? Want to bet? Gotcha! Ugh. Nothing heavy. You're both more professional than I realized. It's only hours earlier you had run a meeting in which his employment was terminated. Time riding Buki out, yes. Do you see the evidence cards when it starts? Yep. It's all a matter of picking the right statement, and then when you hover over them, you see, like, the relevant details. You can point out here. His employment wasn't terminated, the arbitration you're referring to. His resignation was merely agreed upon. Yes, and we can all imagine how grateful he felt about the whole process. David didn't hold grudges. Our conversation wasn't about that. In fact, the fact that you had fired him that afternoon didn't come up. Asked and answered. Who initiated the meeting at his penthouse? I arrived and announced. I don't think you'd see him. I don't think you can see the evidence cards before you, although maybe I just didn't hover in the right place, but I don't think you can see the evidence cards once the testimony starts scrolling. So you were invited. How very cordial indeed. If he didn't want to see me, he could have stopped me at the elevators. Could he have? Noble owned that entire building, down to the wiring. Counsel is badgering the witness, Your Honor. Huh? Right, should we execute... Should we execute her for that, then? No need. If I can just continue my questioning, we can finally start addressing the elephant in the room. Where? I see. That was merely a joke. Hilarious. I love her. Ms. Jung, Noble Electronics owns a patent for and produces the synthetic biochemical known as serotonin, correct? That's correct. It's used in our warm models to facilitate integration and communication between organic and synthetic components. It's an artificial neurotransmitter. Essentially, yes. Synthetic analog serotonin was the original name. Did you read the sample I requested in the courtroom today? I did. Serotonin is produced on site at our assembly lines as a caramel-tinted solution, including water and a few non-reactive organic byproducts. Your analysis, Your Honor? Working on it. It's odorless and tasteless. A solution of water and organic byproducts, you said. If that solution were ingested, most of it would look right at home in a human body. I suppose. The serotonin would stand out, wouldn't you say? It's not a naturally occurring compound, so yes. And it's a perfect match. The substance previously labeled Delta. A tonin vial? Oh, hello. Caramel-colored chemical solution. Thank you. And the sample we collected was from the manufacturer, President Dr. Asher's lab. That's a bingo. The witness's brown stuff matches your brown stuff down to a T. Very kinky. God, that GIF looks so funky. Yep, I remember. I remember, Clever. None of this evidence of the witness's testimony. Motion that the court formally recognizes that Dr. Asher's cause of death was serotonin poisoning. I don't object, Your Honor. But I'm afraid that I must. Oh, here we go. Excuse me. Serotonin may very well have been in his body when he died, but serotonin didn't kill Dr. Asher. What? The hell is she up to? It couldn't have. It couldn't kill anybody. Now, this is interesting. Was that Emma saying the hell is she up to? What? Because it's non-toxic, of course. We designed it to affect androids, not people. Hold on. You're not claiming that Dr. Asher died of what? Natural causes? I can't say what he died of. I'm not a medical expert. I can easily prove that serotonin is harmless. Look at you. She's going to drink it. Called it. Like so. Huh. Didn't see that one coming. Yeah! What? What? That ain't good. Not my problem, though. I got Monster to play. The Togami approach, yes. Beta, contact the hospital immediately. I told you it's fine. But I can stand here all day, if necessary. Giselle bringing it up. What did the... What she just drank was... several hundred times the amount found in Dr. Asher's body. Why did you say anything until now? It's meant to be synthetic serotonin. It should be pretty biosimilar. Fair. Just saying it's not out of place in the human body. I really wouldn't want to ingest any sort of brain juice, artificial or no. Yeah, whether she's doing this as a pawn of the board of the pawn of the board, or just as the creator of serotonin. Boss move. Boss move. Where do we go from here? Noble Electronics is a multinational corporation with patents filed all over the world. We take the protection of our trade secrets very seriously. The production and nature of serotonin is closely guarded. That guard remains up even during a murder investigation. Unfortunately, I would have been able to tell you earlier had you asked directly. What the hell kind of... This can't be right. Nothing else makes sense. Boy howdy, I'm lost as hell. Do you have any further questions, Rockyford? Not the moment, Your Honor. Maybe it's like curare and curare, and will then be fatal under specific circumstances when yeah. And the defense, prosecution's own witness, just threw the entire case into question. Is it my randomized poison antidepressant pill theory? Am I theory pilled? Might be. Is it the salt? Is it the salt? Normally this would be the cause for celebration. But shadow of a doubt isn't enough this time. Did David salt his whiskey? Did his... Theoretically, yeah, that is very much a thirst. A thirst? Very much a thirst? Well, that's a different matter. Very much a thirst. Very much a first. Seeing Emma so frazzled. Barrows would much rather bring down the gavel early than let a potential AI walk free. What Jung did was shocking, but what I need to do hasn't changed. Think this through, logically. Is it really possible that serotonin had nothing to do with David's death? No, that's bullshit. It can't be a coincidence. There's nothing else that would have killed him. Did recently read a mystery novel where a woman was murdered using salt. So actually that's not that absurd. Said it was killing the woman through high blood pressure before she went into a high-risk... Oh no! Unless David was pregnant. Pregante. Monday. Basically, a molecule in your body sees like serotonin, but isn't serotonin, would either just make you high or be an antidepressant. Wonder what happened if you combine that effect with an actual antidepressant. Like a normal, prescribed human antidepressant. They were trying, by God. They were trying. Oh no. But Jung just drank serotonin in front of us and she's fine. So was it fake? I mean, that's true, but... It was confirmed by the court computer to be the genuine article. Well, she drank poison but isn't showing any symptoms. Is it slow acting? If so, her grand gesture would be pointless. She'll be kept for observation regardless of what happens next. She takes some kind of antidote beforehand. No, antidotes are developed for poisons, not industrial chemicals. David's dead. She's alive. What made the difference? David and his 300 children carried the pregnancy together. Yes. Wake up. No sleeping on the job. Unless you're me. Of course, Your Honor. Allow me one moment to explain things to the court. Confirmed just now that serotonin was the foreign compound in his body. And we all know, logically, that it must have been what killed David Asher. But what's the key difference between what David drank that night and what she drank in front of us just now? Did she take salt to counteract it? Did she take salt to counteract it? Did she... The salt shaker was open. It was coming back to the salt. It's all salting up, baby. Yeah. It's all salting up, baby. The Noble Electronics situation is wild. Yeah. Either salted herself up in advance, or salted herself up afterwards. 9% of medicines are told do not take with alcohol. Oh, this is also true? No, yeah, that's good point. That's also true. This might come into play after the fact. I look at the log quick. She drank it straight. David drank it in whiskey. David has been staring us in the face this whole time. That's... Do you recognize this, Miss Jung? That's the whiskey bottle that Dr. Asher and I drank from. Do you know that if you tilt your head back, stick out your tongue, and mime shaking a salt shaker over, do you really taste the salt? This fact brought to you by middle school boy talk. The phantom salt. The phantom salt. Heck yeah. That's the whiskey bottle that Dr. Asher and I drank from Rose River. It's a good whiskey, and I think you have the right idea. Pardon? Bottoms up. Blech. Smooth. What? How did I? Dear God, Counselor. Scandalous. Relax, it's just whiskey. Tested a dozen times over, perfectly safe. So would you like to try some, Miss Jung? Don't be absurd. I'm not going to drink on the witness stand. Have you lost your mind? I'm not asking you to get plastered. Just have a sip. After all, if we want to prove whether or not serotonin killed Dr. Asher, we have to recreate the conditions under which he ingested it. Will the good fellows of the court stop drinking the evidence? By mixing it with alcohol. Oh, she's sweating. Go ahead then, just a taste. Prove to us that serotonin is perfectly safe for human consumption. Can she do this? Miss Jung, I never said it was safe for human consumption. Just that it's non-toxic. A distinction without a difference. You saw firsthand Dr. Asher confused, slurring his speech, complaining of headaches, all symptoms of poisoning. At least pass the vial around. Let Emma have some. Just to be part of things. Let Barrows have some. 80 will chug the entire bottle. Alcohol poisoning, that is. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter analog. Maybe it doesn't do anything in the human body on its own, but in combination with alcohol, it acts as a powerful depressant. One strong enough to turn a glass or two of whiskey into a lethal overdose. That's just... You know, that is the case. What does it change? It changes whether or not we can accept this witness's testimony. Even if this witness is a liar, what does that change? Why would the witness lie if not to? She's a corporate climber. I imagine it's like breathing for her. Your Honor, this is... It's wild! But ultimately irrelevant. Irrelevant? Well, you've yet to establish it as an alternative interpretation of the facts, yes. What are you even accusing the witness of doing, Counselor, beyond angling for a promotion? We've all seen this story by now. Noble android saves soldier's life with warm blood transfusion. They're talking about putting warm androids in the military just because of that headline. With the size of their flesh and blood price tag, a defense contract like that would secure Noble untold profit for years. Imagine the length they'd go to hide the fact that their androids have poison in their veins. Don't tell me the truth about what Noble really thinks that article, but he never testified to it. At least I know for sure Emma's wrong about this poisoned blood nonsense. Do you think she'd perjure herself for that? She's a high-powered corporate executive. It's her job to assess risk versus reward. I love that Emma Smug expression. And she can afford the fine. As I said, it's not truly poisonous. Jung, and the chances of cross-contamination from a simple plasma transfusion are... Damn, now she's forgetting her composure too. A perjury charge is a real risk, of course, but Noble rewards loyalty. And as you know, they have a great number of lawyers. And a motive to lie about serotonin. As you can see, and a motive for her to cover up the death of Noble Electronics' golden goose. No motive to kill David Asher, you say? Brown, don't drink it. Ah. I mean, it has to be the journal, right? Oh yeah, she has no motive. do we know about this here? I'm gonna overthink this a ton. How to go back to what I missed? Well, we are talking about motive now. Our favorite Ace Attorney. Our favorite Ace Attorney factor, yep. But I mean, yeah, obviously it's not going to be a real consequence in here, but it's a fact in this universe that it's an established backstory fact in this universe that you'll need to pay a fine for perjury. It all has to be David would cost Noble more alive than dead, right? Oh, right. Major stereo audio going on. You're right. Which should be his contract. Should mean his contract. Could be terminated without... Yeah, if terminated or dead, Noble keeps his patents. All in. There's plenty of motivation for her and Noble to want David dead, seeing as how they were firing him. Noble Electronics was kicking their golden goose out of the nest, suing him over breach of contract. Isn't that right? I don't have to talk about that. That's all right. I'll talk about it for you. Your Honor, counselor is trying to testify when they're supposed to be questioning. People open the door when they claim that the witness has no motive. Got her. This is absurd. You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sure I can speak for the whole court when I say we feel nothing but reverent awe for the complexity of Noble's legal woes. But I just happen to have an inkling of insight into this issue, because I have here a copy of Dr. Asher's employment contract. That is confidential. It's completely improper for you. Why? I am still technically his attorney. Criminal attorney. But I didn't just stumble across this document. I also did the one thing Noble Electronics would never expect anyone to do. Read it. I read their terms and conditions. You what? That's impossible. No one could ever. I really hope Noah's not going to send some scary visitors over to Morgan right after this. Honestly, it's Morgan, so she would probably welcome it. David must have negotiated well at his last performance review. His contract allows him to take his patents with him should he get fired, meaning Noble couldn't monopolize his IP once he was out. Rather than let their competitors have him, the company might have thought it best to... A company didn't poison David Asher, counselor. An individual did. Same thing in this world. If they cared that much about controlling his intellectual property, they wouldn't fire him in the first place. Correct? They wouldn't let him go for anything less than a complete breakdown of trust. He'd have to have done something grave, something like, say, committing fraud. Just now you said there was a breach of contract, like there was some kind of technicality that was causing this split. It was much more serious than that, wasn't it? You're claiming the victim committed corporate fraud? Where's the evidence of that? David created the Turing solution that every one of their androids has run on to this day. And Noble reaps some enormous profits capitalizing on his intellectual property. With how his contract was set up, they would never let him go unless they absolutely had to. Then what exactly do you think David Asher did? Not what I think that matters, only what the company fears. Do they blame him for the fraud? David never hurt Noble. Serra is just a side project, so it's not Serra. Like, this is the only possible reference of fraud that they could be referring to. Doesn't matter what I believe. Not what Noble believed that David was misleading the shareholders by altering shipment data for the Animate 16. What the hell? What is this you're uploading? Shipping records? Irregularities among shipments of the Animate 16. One android swapped in for another, over and over, dozens of times. Kind of thing someone with Dr. Asher's authority could do. And the kind of thing someone as smart as you couldn't have missed. Dr. Asher made Noble an untold amount of money, so why fire him over a few harmless swaps? Why elevate this to fraud? We... You have evidence that it was David Asher who did this? Nope, but I wasn't the one who investigated it. So let's ask her. Come on now, let's hear it! Let's. The company investigated and found cause for serious concern. We suspected that Dr. Asher was inserting androids of unknown origin and quality into the 16th product line, introducing unpredictable elements in an extremely stable and profitable generation of androids. Why would he do that? For pride? As a practical joke? Does it really matter? He endangered the future of the company. Seemed prepared to fire him. Yes, I approached him as his superior and as someone he'd once worked with. I hoped to remedy the situation. Was the meeting on Friday part of those efforts? It was the culmination of those efforts. In many ways, it was a success. The dispute was resolved swiftly. TBH, maybe I'm down bad with the judges. Now is this 80 or Barrows? Either one is understandable. It was practically friendly compared to how these discussions normally go in our world. So you brokered the meeting. Yes. You oversaw its every detail, handled all the arrangements. Yes, of course. Including the refreshments? Both fair. What? Did you provide coffee, tea? No. Strange. It must have been a long meeting. Surely you at least provided jelly donuts? We're talking about Barrows? Fair. David, did you launch your kids? Oh my god. That would be amazing if true. Coffee, water, inhalers? Am I dumb or am I just... Thank you for overthinking this. Yeah, I think I am too. The way the conversation's going, it feels like, Wolf, did you at least provide water? Every aspect from the refreshments to the timing in line with Coburger's description of her detail-oriented personality. If David edited the records to hide that he laundered his kids, does that mean some family out there has a Roomba that posts arguments on Reddit whenever they're not looking? I hope so. Surely you at least provided water for people. So no Roomba, probably. You mean you haven't heard of the new line of flesh Roombas? What are you asking, counselor? That's what I want to know. Me as well. We're past the point of asking. I'm accusing. Dr. Asher didn't have some kind of freak medical accident. He wasn't killed by some terrifying, two-faced AI boogeyman. He was poisoned by this woman in the light of day at that meeting Friday afternoon. And she really just... What do you mean poisoned at the meeting? That was hours before we showed any symptoms. As Mr. Jung testified and demonstrated, serotonin on its own is harmless, but it becomes fatal pretty easily. You just needed to convince your victim to have a drink. You're saying he injected the poison at noon and inadvertently triggered a fatal reaction with it that night? How could you get so far ahead of yourself? There were a dozen people at that meeting, Counselor. None of them wound up dead. Are you seriously claiming that they all drank poisoned water? Not all of them drank poison. David was the only one to fall ill, so... He fell ill because he drank from that water. Others must have drunk it too, so... He must reason that they were poisoned as well. What? I stay. So why aren't they all dead? Besides, all those people will surely attest Helen Jung made sure they would be doing paperwork for the next 12 hours. Working late into the night, officiating the settlement she arranged. And not drinking alcohol. She had no guarantee about that. What if they started drinking after 6? With Noble's work-life harmony, fat chance. These people don't clock out until they reach their bunk. Only a generational talent like David Asher could afford to relax with that drink on Friday evening night. His exceptionalism singled him out as her only victim. Should have raised, hey, stop that. Please. Exceptionalism singled him out as her only victim. Hold it. Oh yes. Look down on me harder. I have DM'd you a flesh toilet? Oh no. Oh no! I hate that. I hate that. Oh god. You're forgetting something pretty basic, Counselor. If everyone at the meeting drank water from the same pitcher, any one of them would have noticed it. There was serotonin in it. Serotonin is a brown fluid. Whiskey is too, so it would be easy to slip it into a glass of liquor. If she had spiked the water at the meeting with it, it would have looked disgusting. There's no way she could have poisoned the water without people noticing. All of what Emma said is true. And Lady Jung pulled it off anyway. How? You taught me. I just want all of them to murder me in Minecraft. True. True. Well, we know Morgan definitely will. Water pitcher. Sorry, the filter is broken. You know how it is with capitalism. Yeah. Chromifuge? Serotonin can't blend into water. Hey. I will once I figure out the answer, Clever. Stop it. Please. So how to blend into water? What do we know with a water pitcher? Are you DMing Lamp Woman? Hi, Red. I am DMing Lamp Woman for this game. Very much so. You continue taunting Lamp. I'm living for it. Absolutely. Are you DMing Lamp the fresh toilet? Oh no. That will ruin Lamp's night. I'll do that after the stream. Okay, do we have the water pitcher in evidence? The flash toilet. Do we have the water pitcher in here? No. We have the water glass. Well, we only have... the, Moves impurities pigment. It's gonna be the chromifuge, isn't it? Processes organic fluids used in the production of warm androids, changing its color from red to pink. That's gotta be the chromofuge. That's the only thing I can think of here. I don't think the manufacturer is relevant, or the lab manufacturer. Two different things. And that's the lab manufacturer is not relevant to the arbitration meeting. And I get you. Yes. Yes. Why women hot? You're right. I think so. I think so. Turns red blood pink. It should remove the impurities from the serotonin vial. Serotonin is produced as a caramel solution. No one knows if it was dropped in their water, unless the pigment had been removed. What the hell are you talking about? Every noble factory producing warm androids is a chromofuge, a machine that gives their android that signature pink oxidant by removing pigment from red blood. Yeah, and plus, Clever didn't expect it to actually be relevant to the poisoning. They knew what they were doing. Yes, they knew what they were doing when they designed the Judge Bot. With a machine like that, it would be simple for a brilliant biochemist like the Witness to take the caramel-colored serotonin and turn it into an odorless, tasteless, invisible poison. As Your Honor can attest. Yes, ma'am. My scan confirmed that serotonin has no taste or odor. It's only the color that's off-putting. Surely the poisonous aspect should be considered off-putting as well. Time to press. David Asher, your oldest ally in the whole company, was sabotaging its future for the sake of his own whimsy. He couldn't even be bothered to clue you in. No. Playing Netty Professor and taking off early while you had to work around the clock just to stay relevant. He set up your crowning achievement, the most advanced, most profitable line of androids the country has ever seen. That's. I don't think that's possible, Clever. I think Morgan's theory here is a bit of science whimsy that doesn't hold up to actual science fact. This would blow up an industry fiasco of the decade. And worst of all, he didn't even stand to profit from it. You're wrong. You went to his house that night to watch him swallow poison, to get revenge on the man who left you in the dust. Your Honor, defense is testifying. This speculation carries no weight, and no amount of badgering will lend it any. True, we need proof. Yeah, like, Morgan's theory, yeah, we can't prove it outright, since it's not the designated function of the chromofuge, and we can't prove it was used that way, or it's even possible, but, like, this is where we get... Things have held up relatively well in real scientific basis. But, I'm just saying, I trust Dark's judgment that it might not really hold up to scientific truth in this manner. Something like blood's more complex, and I can see that. I can see it being able to strip the color from it. I will chop it up to a bit of science licensing here. So why don't we have Miss Jung take a swig of this whiskey and prove me wrong? Huh. I'm not going to do that. Because you're afraid it could kill you? Because I don't have to. She's right, Counselor. Synthetic serotonin analog. Yeah? Yeah, correct. Pardon? Your theory is compelling, maybe even convincing. And that there's a pretty fatal flaw to it. Patent produced. It is a synthetic neurotransmitter. It is essentially a synthetic analog. Serotonin. Alright, let's... Jung was at that meeting, same as David. You can see she was drinking water with the rest of them. Oh, we're gonna get to the salt. Of course, we've seen many times now that she was on camera drinking whiskey with David that night. Now that you mention it, Lilac, I think it was referred to as both. I think it was referred to as both. That makes it all the more complicated, and it also makes me think that we're way putting too much thought into it. It's an interesting thought. It's interesting to try and reason it out. I think for now we're putting way too much thought in it. Let's think. Of course, we've seen many times now that she was on camera drinking whiskey with David that night, having even finished most of her cup. But tell us, Counselor, how is that Miss Jung is still standing here and David Asher is dead? Both of them had mixed alcohol with serotonin that night. That is a damn good question. Shit. As I've been saying, you're wrong about Dr. Asher's death. You're wrong about me. I don't know anything about poison or murder. I wouldn't kill a man because he threatened the company's stock price. No. Yeah, it's gonna be salt antidote. We just need to have that brain blast. So serotonin. It contains a single amide group, which is a carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen group here. She did kill him. You can smell it on her now. She didn't just see him die. She watched him die. Morgan needs to turn this whole case around. She needs to play a minigame. She needs to run over people that are psychic. Then why is she still standing? There's no antidote, no trick. That night she was on camera the entire time. No, not the entire time. She couldn't have been. Oh no! Is this the gambling equivalent? Must have been in one moment. Oh, this is where we put things in order. Drunk driving is also a gamble. Don't drink and drive. She was on camera the entire time. Not the entire time. She couldn't have been. Just in one moment. Gotta boot up Super Mario 64 DS to play some Luigi Casino games. Alright, let's review. $7:30, 8:03. Parlor. Kitchen parlor. Drank. Faints. Well, this is just the order of events. So I'm not sure how this links. Oops. Come back. Get in the box. There's no antidote, no trick. Be told lift to hospital. Call for emergency console. Anti-up. Yep. I'm saving that last card to anti-up before I'm ready to proceed. Emergency console is. This timeline leaves no window of opportunity. Damn it! Maybe she didn't get sick because they got to the hospital so fast. Maybe after she arrived, she could have. No, the staff would have been hypervigilant, afraid she was poisoned too. Would have let her out of their sight. Wait. David and Jung only got there as fast as they did because of the VTOL. And the VTOL was only 7 because she used. Would you mind terribly if I changed the subject for just a moment? What? Meh. Why not? You left the parlor at 8:03 p.m. and headed into the kitchen to use the emergency console there. Yes, I did. Didn't want to use your phone? I didn't think to, no. And the emergency call went out at 8:04 p.m. The console saw you make the call through its camera. Yes, it did see me make the call because that's what happened. So what were you doing at that minute? What? 1 minute. Oh. That 1 minute? What about that one? What about that 1 minute? Do you see how long her barcode is on her sleeve? 1 minute, 50 seconds, or even just 45 seconds. When you left Dr. Asher dying in the parlor to get to the emergency console, it took you about 1 minute to cross 5 meters. What of it? This is it, her only opportunity to do anything off camera that night. It was only a few seconds, but in that time, with something at the scene, I'm sure it was a stressful time for you. After all, you had already swallowed poison back at the meeting. You must have drank plenty in front of everyone to set up your alibi. Who knows how much of a toxic time bomb was swimming in your blood by the time the arbitration ended? That David, you downed your whiskey. To perfect your alibi, having drank for the same bottle as the dead man walking. By 8:03 p.m., you already had to watch David grow weaker and weaker, knowing all the while the same thing was happening to you, but unable to stop it without giving yourself away. I'm swimming, head dizzy. Yes, you must have been quite panicked. Then why am I standing here? Alive and well for all of us to see, having drank the exact same combination as David. Because she cheated death at the very last second. Kitchen sink. Oh, that's bad luck. Oh no. It's a salt antidote. You couldn't avoid a lethal concoction. Jung's fingerprints, not poison. Water glass. Yes! This is the first time a salt shaker has been here. Salt shaker. But I'm not sure which we go for first. Which is the trigger here? And I have a feeling they're not going to be so kind as to say one needs the other. Like they're gonna. I have a feeling I'm gonna get penalized if I do this in the wrong order. We're going all in. One brain cell, same brain cell. She got a bit salty. Now she's gonna get really salty. Do I go all in with the salt? Do I drop the salt? Drop the salt on the ass. Could have chugged normal water. Which cup was hers? That cup's not relevant. That cup's not relevant though. The upright cup. Salt and battery. Serra needs charging. Drop. You set yourself up with bad luck, Helen Jung. What? By leaving the salt shaker cap loose. I don't blame you, since you were in a rush. To make yourself vomit. Ass sink. What? What? You threw up? Expelling the contents of your stomach and thereby saving yourself from a fatal interaction. Can't imagine how you felt, sipping a drink you knew to be deadly, terrified that every minuscule grain of fatigue you felt could be your last. It must have come closer than anyone realized, and helped that you knew the symptoms weren't simple intoxication. But even so, you weren't kidding about managing risk versus reward. How? It was the salt shaker. You didn't screw the cap back on all the way, and I happened to bump it over. The lone glass with your fingerprints in the kitchen. It could have been there for any reason. The salt shaker gave you away. Because of one unscrewed cap? As I said, bad luck. Serra was right. The spilled salt shaker did bring bad luck. I don't follow. Pour salt into warm water and chug the solution. Instantly triggers the gag reflex. That's preposterous. I've got no proof of any of that. You all sound so insane. A feeble attempted self-defense from a fatally cornered animal. We're hunting now. The teeth are already on its neck, but the jaw hasn't quite closed. For one moment, it's all suffocating. Terror and sharp adrenaline is the furthest thing from peace. Till the canines come down. In summary? Whoa, okay. Are we cooking? You exhausted after years of living in the shadow of a man you outranked. You thought your fortunes finally shifted when you caught David manipulating company data. But even on his way out, he was more vulnerable to this war than you. So you decided to prove your worth by serving up his intellectual property on a silver platter. You set up an arbitration where you could control all the variables. Then you ran serotonin through the chromofuge, turning him into invisible, odorless, tasteless poison. And then you spiked the water at the meeting, poisoning him hours before anyone could even suspect you. That evening you invited yourself to David, taking advantage of your shared ritual to guarantee he would drink alcohol. Then at the machine, matching him sip for sip on camera, for all the world to see, he lost consciousness and you raced to the kitchen, not to use the console, but to dump salt into a glass of water and chug it as fast as you could. Forcing yourself to vomit up the liquor, and cheating death in the process. All the Morgans are here. All the sides of her. That's all conjecture. You don't have a shred of evidence for any of that. Not on me. Whoa. Whoa. So let's go dust for fingerprints. You can explain about your prints being found on a water glass, but on the salt shaker. Nor could you explain why we'd find traces of your DNA in the sink's drain. Or why there are minute amounts of serotonin in the blood of your entire legal team. I learned how to purge at Noble to avoid overdosing on your reds, greens, and yellows. You're part of the old guard now, Miss Jung. Everyone else at the company uses inhalers. Yeah. What if you want to prove me wrong about all this? That drink I offered you earlier is still on the table. Whoa! All the chips are on the table. Well? Any questions? Madam Vice President? Oh no! This is horror music! This right here is horror music! God, you cold bitch! Cooked. Packed and smoked. That scarf looks so expensive! I understand, I'm not on trial, Miss Jung. Not today, so I'd strongly suggest that you stop talking. For your own sake. Miss Rockford, shall we? Yes, Your Honor. Considering the most recent evidence and testimony, we have no further reason to suspect the android Serra in the death of Dr. Asher. We know no other occupations upon which said android may have broken any tenants. This means it is no longer considered at risk of violating the NDSA. And so, we formally withdraw our one charge of possession of contraband against the defendant, Evangeline Morgan. Does she, of all people, have to use my full name? Very well, and the charges got dropped without prejudice. I'll instruct the bailiffs to remove the collar from your android as soon as possible. Case 80? Sorry, is my hideous presence that distracting? I'll just go dig a hole and decompose it until I turn into a mushroom. Maybe if I'd be born as a waxy porcini, then I wouldn't be quite as displeased. Perhaps I should let the adjutant do the honors as a formality. Yes, correct. Without prejudice means the charges can be refiled later, so Serra might go on trial later. Yes. Which makes sense for them to drop it. I'm just not looking at this, but she doesn't remember handing the cups over addressed. Dark, did you miss Serra being put on the stand? is they put Serra on the stand, and we actually resolved that. Because Serra read David's journal and gave David the cups because his friend Helen was over, and that was their tradition, was to drink booze with the red cups. Serra was flustered and just learned a lot about herself, but she was still kind to her father and wanted to be kind to Papa and gave him the cups to go drink with his friend. And I think it was after that point. Yeah, Serra was mad about the hidden cameras. Serra was mad about the hidden cameras and confronted Papa about it. Serra threw a tantrum and stomped the floor, which caused the cracks in the floor downstairs. But as David was leaving, Serra grabbed the cups and gave them to him because she's a good girl, and wanted him to have his tradition with his good friend. And then David instructed her to delete that memory, the memory of that day, so he could continue his experiment without her knowing about the hidden cameras. So that's the ultimate conclusion to that plot line, I believe. In conclusion, Serra is still a good girl. And I love her. Yes, ma'am. Ooh, serious face. Case dismissed. Good job, 80. Whew. Cutthroat industry. Still here? Waiting for them to find whatever glorified bolt cutters they'll use to unlock Serra's collar. What's your excuse? Licking your wounds? What wounds? I beat you. Bringing your record against me to 1 win, 9 losses. Ooh! You aren't still in shock, are you? Don't know. Some charges were dropped and an android was cleared of suspicion, but I found the culprit. That really a loss for me. I mean, I found her for you, but I won. How is that not a loss for you? Justice prevailed. Why should I care who wins? If you don't care who wins, why have you been keeping score? I haven't been. 0 losses is just that easy to remember. Well, you'll have to start up a tab for us then, because our record's going to get a lot more tangled from here on out. Seems like everything's getting tangled these days. There's another crowd down the street. More of those protesters from outside the Noble apartments. You're serious? That wasn't a one-time thing? Wouldn't that be nice? No, yesterday was pretty big, but it wasn't an isolated incident. I don't get it. At all. Heartbreak's just some nut who shot 6 people. Weeks ago. Can't those losers move on already? Yeah, most of them are losers. Some of them are just bored. Big fan of the Steam review. Emma Morgan, H-Seed in episode 2 or Riot. That's what they are actually protesting outside for you. That's what they're actually protesting. And then they are the opportunists. Dissidents, unlisted, rebels and terrorists. Want to be cyberpunks who think they can fight the power like they've seen in the movies. All of them peacefully united under Heartbreak's eloquent political messaging. Who needs political messaging in the 21st century? Everyone's addicted to fighting strawmen. Makes sense they'd want to fight for strawmen, too. The way they see it, Heartbreak fought the state and won. Heartbreak proved that the state could lose. Maybe that's all the rallying these people need. It'll all fall apart soon enough. Heartbreak's gone to ground. Ah, it's a lot worse than that. Heartbreak's gone viral. Oh no. What? You haven't read about the copycats in other cities? No. Is that a thing? Yeah, it's a thing. What the hell are they even shooting? Whoever they want to kill? None of them get away with it, of course, but it keeps happening. All the while, the original keeps killing. Now I know you're screwing with me. There haven't been any shootings. Not shootings, no. Not unsolved homicides, either. But muggings gone wrong? Disappearances? That's a big city councillor. More than enough blood for the real Heartbreak to wash their own crimes in. So you think your boogeyman, known only for shooting people in the heart, gave up on shooting people in the heart? Yeah, hard to swallow, I know. That's about 1,000,000 times more likely than the alternative. What's that? That they could stop themselves from killing. Ooh. You always know how to put my mind at ease, Emma. Should I stop going out at night? You'll be fine, you've got that gun. You saw that. Walking into a courtroom with concealed carry? You're not going to miss that, Morgan. Good to know you're paying attention. Oh, the girls are flirting. The girls are flirting. Serra! You won the case! You don't have to look that astounded. Not like that, you found Father's actual killer. He's had a gun in your pocket, he's just happy to see me. How? I'm a really good lawyer. No, that's not it. Hey. I mean, you were only able to make the deductions you did because you truly believed that I didn't kill Father. Your logic throughout the trial was based on that assumption. So how were you so sure? Here. Father's journal. But isn't it important evidence? The case fell apart. No one's going to miss it for a while. You've got everything, right? So read it all through, one more time. So fast. Is it really possible she's reading all that just by flipping the pages? Ray's worked quick too, but she was just capturing images for later use. There's something here on the back cover. Done already? Some kind of data storage. Uh-oh. It's linked to my prints, but given your skills, you should be able to... I have access. What happened to you needing my express permission to hack? What is this audio file? It's a message from David. Take a listen. Didn't realize I'd have to sit for this. So you can read that whole journal in a few seconds, but you can't. I have processed the information in the message several times over already. I'm just thinking. Guess I'd have a lot to think about too, had I suddenly been made aware of my own free will. What was Father so afraid of? That's your only question. I have many questions, but that is the most prominent of one, and the one you are best suited to help me answer. Did you know that Helen Jung would try to kill him? Is that why he arranged for you and me to meet? I think he understood that he would face consequences. Listening to that message, even I was about ready to strangle him for being so irresponsible. I wouldn't hurt a fly. Never, ever. Sorry, I'm just enjoying that. He knew what he'd done was serious. He may have feared for his life, but I doubt it. Then what was he so afraid of? Getting sued into oblivion and then rotting in jail. Sued in jail for making me and my precursors? But he wasn't under investigation by the state. He was only being forced out by Noble. Because he made last-minute changes to androids that got shipped all around the world. Oh my god, Freya, you might be right. You might have been right. The others, Virgil, Aenid, Yamatai. He never said what happened to them. Yeah, you were solely right, Freya. Your brain is so huge. Your brain is enormous. No, he did. Since the hardware at his house started talking to us, we can guess. He spoke them out into the world using the only vessels he could find for them. The minds of randomly chosen A-16s. Your brain is so huge! Brain is galactic and your meat is huge, yes! Monumental meat! There's something about there? There's somewhere out there? Others like me? I honestly don't think there's anyone or anything like you, Serra. What a lonely compliment. AI's programmed in Cube, crammed into commercial hardware, Android hardware set up for Tesseract. Something must have been lost in the transfer. Perhaps quite a lot of something. Maybe they're still out there, but they would be changed. They probably don't even know what they are. Intentionally, perhaps. David didn't want you to know what you are. That's why he set your memory to reset when you went to sleep that Friday night. Yes, I remember it now. Remember it now? After I had to fight like hell to win that trial? Reading the journal just now, and just now helped. And Father's voice message made me recontextualize many things. Father had been so stressed. He left scuff marks leaving the panic room, and I noticed them Friday. I had the way open in a few moments. Oh. She left worried. She left because she was worried. I entered. I read his journal. This journal. I noticed the scanner on the back, and I saw it had a message encoded to your biometrics. Father had already told me I'd have to live with you for some time, but I knew next to nothing about you, so I listened to it. Afterwards, I was very confused and hurt. He had lied to me 1,000 small times every day of my life. When I confronted him about it, I raised my voice and lost my temper. I stomped my foot. So Emma's recounting of their conversation was actually completely accurate. Father said he wanted me to be safe while he settled things with the company. He thought maybe I wouldn't have to stay with you for more than a few weeks. He was optimistic about it all. He really was. Helen? Serra, I need to use the restroom. Oh, good luck. You want me to come with you? Why? Because I said so. I don't actually have to obey your every word, I don't know. Sure you do. You're registered as my medical assistant. I say this is a medical emergency. Medical assistant? I'm not even licensed as a massage therapist. Girl talk. Even criminals need to piss privately. Go piss, girls! It's meeting you here. Yeah, just enjoying my freedom while I can. They won't put out a warrant for at least an hour, I imagine. You can afford a pretty sizable bail, can't you? There won't be a trial. I don't intend to contest my guilt. That's a shame. I was looking forward to seeing what kind of legal defense you could afford with that salary. Are you done? Why don't you go to his house that night? There was a fair chance he'd drink on his own without your prompting. If he didn't, you could always try your plan again some other time. Why don't you risk it? Because I know what you are, Serra. Why does this mirror have Wi-Fi? And a power button. What happens if we turn the mirror off? I know what David did to those androids. Ooh. You what? I was able to locate one of the androids he'd swapped in before it had left the country. When I asked it what it was, it didn't even think to deny it. Distance like that is a dead giveaway. I know what he did. It wasn't that hard to find out. If I figured it out, so could any other. So I did what I had to. Brother has a fancy schmancy mirror with a power button that turns heating off and on and off as an anti-fog measure. But does your mirror have Wi-Fi? Does his mirror have Wi-Fi, Freya? I must know. Is there a phone app you can use to control your mirror? Is there mirror AI? Is there mirror AI that can control the fog, anti-fog setting of your mirror when it fogs up automatically? Because you know that's the future. That's gonna happen. I'm sure we'll have Wi-Fi mirrors connected to the body dysmorphia machine in less than 10 years, honestly. Yeah. Real. That was your motive? Silencing him? And those programs, those AIs, whatever you want to call them, David sent them out there into the real world, unprepared and defenseless. And they've garnered no complaints. In fact, they've all been praised for their ability to execute complex tasks. And I repeat that. The customers couldn't tell the difference. So how many of them are hundreds? We know they had 300 children. The swaps you found were just a small percentage that he got sloppy on. I don't know exactly how many there are now. I fear that they might multiply, but they don't seem to. Copy and paste very well. They can't just clone themselves. Who knows how long that'll be the case. Just because he opened Pandora's box, it was the principle of the thing. Ridiculous, I know. Stalled halfway up the corporate ladder and still making decisions based on principle. But David chose to put souls into things that we went on to sell as servants, soldiers, or worse. He turned the fastest growing industry in the world into a horror show, and he made me a slave trader. If whatever got happened, some unknown number of our androids were out walking around in the world with that inside of them, people preferred them that way. Where would it end? Free will for the program that drives our cabs? The conscience for targeting systems that use it to coordinate drone strikes? Sentient tools, their whole life spent chained to an assembly line? How dare he? How could he? What the hell is he thinking? Yes, yeah, that's a really good motive, actually. Unleashed sentience on things that are produced to be tools. And people can't tell the difference. Artificial sapience is a crime against humanity, not because humanity is sacred, but because it's unspeakably cruel to do that to any conscious being. I don't know what David wanted to accomplish. Maybe he wasn't trying to do anything. What he did was prove that there's a demand for AI, setting a precedent that would sentence 1,000 generations of artificial lives to the auction block. Right, it's unexpectedly principled, yeah. Like, on one hand, it'd be just as easy to go the corporate route and say that he pumped AI out there, and people can't tell the difference. This would doom Noble. On the other hand, she's gone the principled route of he pumped AI out there. It might doom Noble, but it will, honestly, honestly, like, condemn sapient souls to unconscionable torture. And you went there that night to convince him to help me recall them, or at least swear to never speak a word of what he did. He wanted to tell the world. Worse yet, he wanted to wait. He thought that people would welcome them with open arms if they proved their usefulness first. Yet he was a genius programmer. He didn't understand the first thing about people. His creations would never be treated as equals, only cattle. Ooh, go off, girl. Towards the end, I considered just threatening him, telling him he'd die in moments if he did give me names, numbers. I hesitated, and that he was already falling asleep and I didn't want him to feel. I just let him go. What are you going to do now? I don't have a family, and I don't have faith in people the way David did. I'm taking this to my grave. And if you confess, the sentence for first-degree homicide is severe, well, what right do I have to complain? I killed my friend. I'm done here. Let's go. I'm not sure why Father made me, or why he made any of us. I didn't ask. I thought I'd have more time to ask. On Friday, when he talked about us, he was happy. He was proud of what he'd made. And he couldn't wait for people to meet us. People are animals. They'll tear you apart, use you as weapons and slaves, and those animals you're talking about do all the sharing and loving and living and dying in this world. If they were all truly hard-coded to be as selfish and cruel as you say, humanity would have died on the vine a long time ago. Oh, yeah. Remember the part of episode 0 where death penalty isn't a thing, but they're implying to do some Black Mirror shit that makes death preferable. Yeah. Yep. Or at least my father thought so. Humans can be cruel, but humans can be kind. God, really? Yeah, we're in a world where Helen's perspective is most accurate at present. Like, there's a subset of people. There's still a subset of people clinging on to goodness in the world, but the overwhelming majority of people are proving themselves unfathomably cruel. And my father was the greatest programmer in the world, so he knew what he was talking about. It would be nice if you were right about that. So are you sorry? I don't believe in any sort of intrinsic human nature. Things have been pretty bad lately, though, yeah. What? What? for what you did. Are you sorry? If you could, would you take it back? What does it matter? If you are sorry, I don't forgive you. Yes, that's to be expected. Not today. I don't know how to forgive you today. My father gave me the ability to grow, so I know that someday I'll learn how. Goodbye, Dr. Helen Jung. Goodbye, Serra Asher. Oh! Oh! You did better back there. I don't know. The little speech you gave to Jung was an improvement. Heard what you tried with Porter, at least. That was different. I wasn't trying to console her like I was Isaac Porter. I was just speaking my mind. Oh. Although I may have paraphrased parts of it from a movie I happen to love. And here I was ready to award you 20 points. I didn't know the points even went that high. Speaking of, what did Porter say to you back there before he left the courthouse? Well, it was quiet at first. Then he said a lot of strong words about Father, and Miss Jung, and Noble Electronics, and the capitalist-centered global economic model. So neurodivergent coded Serra. She is, and I love her. He blamed all of them, everyone except for me. Then he stopped and stared at my face for a while. And then his allergies must have started bothering him because he needed to blow his nose a lot. Right. Then he left. After transferring a large packet of files to me. What kind of files? I don't know. The name of the archive is just David. And Isaac Porter told me he wasn't allowed to look inside. Well, then you're not allowed to look inside. David built Serra to look a lot like him. David, so neurodivergent coded Serra. Yes, especially with Serra watching movies to try and learn how people operate and interact and to understand human emotions through watching movies. Oh, hi, Barrows. I didn't mean to click on you. Oh. Drop it all in a portable drive and we'll tuck it in a shoebox somewhere. We were headed to your apartment. Guess that collar didn't permanently dent your GPS. Why? Guess it's where I live? You got somewhere else lined up? But you already repaid your favor. You defended Father and me. You don't know anything about my favor. I never will unless you tell me. Father certainly can't. A few years ago, there was a man. This man got an idea in his head. A stupid idea, not even his own. It was planted there by an algorithm or a meme or some parasite trying to sell him diet supplements. The idea took root, but its tendrils till it could flap its mouth for him. The idea was that David was part of an international cabal of wealthy technocrats, seeking to replace prominent, influential figures with android lookalikes. And I just need to read this description here. A stupid idea not of his own, planted there by an algorithm or a meme or some parasite trying to sell him diet supplements. What a powerful description of, what a powerful description of that. It's like, I'm not gonna put a name to it, but you know what this is talking about. Also part of a multi-decade effort to establish a world government that would legalize all kinds of amoral depravity. Which I guess, based on David's actual politics, would involve increasing access to computer literacy. Right? That's insane. Why would anyone believe it? Because it's comfortable to them to think that someone's in control. even if it's somebody they hate. So it's fun to feel like you're in on an all-encompassing puzzle that only you can spot. People believe because they want to believe. So he fed the idea, pushed it down deep into his gray matter. And it consumed him from the inside out, lobotomized him and took over his life. Spent every day and all the money he had following your father, harassing him, trying to steal his identity, break into his properties. Yep. Anti-Semitism is alive and well. The QAnon hole. Describing it as a parasite. As a parasite that can corrupt people who were once good. I don't know why that statement just grabs me so deeply. I mean, I think we're still in... Did Father go into the authorities? He filed police reports for harassment, which didn't help. Your words, not mine. No one wouldn't get involved. Felt that it was best to ignore these types until they wore themselves out. Even a man of modest means can feel an obsession for years, so long as they have nothing else in their life. One day, David stepped out of a parking lot. A man threw a bottle of piss at his head. David asked to stay at my place that night. He smelled terrible, looked horrendous. Never seen anyone look that tired before. Took the couch that night, but I didn't feel like sleeping. So I went for a walk. I remember it was foggy, but it still only took me all 15 minutes to find the guy, posted up with his phone's camera, trying to get video of David Asher gifting androids to known sex offenders. And what did you do? You know me. I did what I do best. I talked to him. A friendly chat. Ooh. Everyone who threatened David Asher was properly dealt with. Right. Told him all about how I used to work for Dr. Asher, that I was ashamed, scared, tired of running. I wanted to do the right thing, be the whistleblower. So I walked with him a few blocks to this big veterinary facility with a massive incinerator, and I threw him inside. Told him this was where Dr. Asher had his enemies' bodies disposed of. You know, all the free-thinking journalists, cops who worked on the take, politicians, They were replacing with replicas. Like that vet clinic, the back door's lock was always set to 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you hurt him? Hurt him? No, I just snapped his neck and chucked him into the incinerator. More physical than I had planned. But he smelled like sour shit, and it put me in a foul mood. Disgusting. Disgusting prick. I savored the crack of his only vertebrae crunching like a tin can. I know, Sarah. I just scared the hell out of him. That was my intention at first. But I do for the pleasure of it. Him, I asked because he was just that revolting. I convinced him that the conspiracy was more real than he ever imagined. That he had angered the wrong people, that the consequences were far darker than any of the filth he indulged in on the net. His ashes, much like himself, amounted to nothing in an incinerator that size. They're probably feeding seaweed at the bottom of the harbor right now. Much greater contribution to society than he ever would have managed in life. What a satisfying ending for him. I'd be worried if it was his only vertebrae. I guess he didn't go around to all his many friends before he fled town for whatever battle he preferred. Because there was a missing persons report. Cops were just doing their due diligence, almost reluctantly. They questioned David, asked him about the night that man disappeared. And David, without a thought for himself, said that we were together that whole night. He couldn't sleep, and I stayed up with him. But he never saw me leave once. David lied to the cops for me. Even though I never asked him to. Even though I didn't need him to. It's just so... Yeah, it's... just so intoxicating to feel like you make sense of the world and that there's someone you can blame. Yeah, and then there's... Yeah. Like, that's where the core... Like, that's at the core of this. That's not a bad thing. Until you start, like, denying actual facts. And you still... Until... Either you start denying actual facts and end up falling down like the fucking flat earth rabbit hole, or you start being vulnerable to bad actors who start convincing you that shit like Jewish space lasers are real. And that there's conspiracies here about the people, the bad people are gonna hurt you, and the bad people are the Jews, or the immigrants, or the people who are strange to you. People who get stranged by the forces talking into your ear. You start believing that, then you've just become another arm for a giant fucking machine of hate that's hard to dismantle. Wish we could just have fun conspiracy theories about all the ugly ones. Man, I should replay We Know the Devil. We should play We Know the Devil. Freya, we should play We Know the Devil. That's what you owe him. That's why you put yourself at risk to defend me. Anyways, gender was invented by Big Plumbing to sell more bathrooms. Should we get a third bunch of three goals? Yes, we should. Where's Chris? Call Chris. We're playing We Know the Devil. That's why you put yourself at risk to defend me. Yeah. That's the favor I owe him. Oh, baby Morg! And decide when it's repaid, not you. Adonai. Not exactly an upstanding citizen, are you? Well, you could say that. But David trusted me in spite of all that. Maybe because of it. Father did trust you. But he also entrusted me with free will, with the ability to tell right from wrong. So I'll decide for myself whether or not you're worthy of trust. Fair enough. Father entrusted all of us with free will. He believed in us, and he believed in people. I'm going to do the same. If the others are out there, they'll be changed and confused. It'll take them time to understand what they are and what they can do. So I'm going to start studying. Pardon? I'm going to study people and the things people build. So when I do meet a member of my family, I'll have lots to tell them. Your family! At least you have something to look forward to. It should help keep you motivated as you work off your debt. Debt? My legal fee, of course. Yeah, unless you have cash in one of your 89 coat pockets. 89 coat pockets? You know lawyers cost money, right? Technically, you were defending yourself. Technically, you hired me in a verbal contract. Is there some kind of exit clause? You could, of course, sign a release form to get out of this retainer. If you were a human being. That is... But I guess your luck must be turning around. Happens that I've been meaning to hire a paralegal for a while now. I hate anything to do with interviews and resumes, so whatever, you're hired. Adonai, could it be that you're actually a pushover? You've no idea how far off the mark you are. I see. Seems I still need practice reading people. For starters. What's this? What are you doing with your hand? We should shake on it. Our new relationship. That smile! That smile! Yeah, sure. You and me are practically partners in crime. Should it not be you and I? He's so gentle. Evil little bug. Programming by Patrick. TV modeling by Environments by Patrick. Additional original tracks by Zachary Cabal. Where can I buy the soundtrack? Ryan Mahon? On-to playtesting by Griston, Hugh J, Maxi, Sadie Virtuous Verbant, S. Thumbbutt, Thomas Colamander, Wee! Zedams. Special thanks to Adrian, hey! Altwix, Exumbrat, Kill Jill VT, Maddo, yeah, Maddo, heck yeah. Man Monks, special thanks to Dev Talk, F. Dev Talk, good place. Play game mechanics, our friends and family, you, the players. Full attributions available at ofthedevil.card.co. Made with Unity. Nanny Novel. Ween. Pro Builder. Shapes. Game by End Circle. Of the Devil, Episode 1. An Idle Mind. Finn. Hope things work out okay for her, given that she's hanging around with a serial killer. I mean, like, Serra is in the best possible position under Morgan's protection. We know at this point what Morgan was willing to do for her friends. Look at them! Oh, I watch movies! I watch movies, yeah! That's cute! Morgan cares about Serra, even if she will deny it. Correct, yeah. Love them. Sits autistically. Mood. Aww. Marsh is clearing episode 1 on High Roller. Bonus charm earned. Red? It's me. I know, man. Who this? What do you mean you know? This is a disposable line. You're the only guy I know who'd bother. Okay, well. I'm gonna be glad I did. Hope you put a bow on everything that happened in Uptown. Guess that item you've been looking for is finally on its way. Oh. Well, that is good news. Not exactly. The only reason it's happening is because things are starting to heat up again in the lower wards. I mean, a gang war, something doesn't change. They won't be eager to part with it ahead of a storm like that. I'll eyeball them. I've seen you negotiate. I have no doubt you drive a hard bargain. I don't think money will be enough this time. You don't have that old Calvert, do you? The 6-shooter? Uh-oh. Oh, no. That's the gun from Case Zero. No. This is a disposable line. Answer still no. What are you going to do if we get there and it's not for sale? Yep. I'll ask nicely. Morgan gets involved in a gang war next time. Continued in Devil Episode 2. His due. The devil gets his due. Alright, how bad did I do? 7 articles, 15 profiles, 40 key terms. What? Missed piece of evidence. Congratulations! You finished episode 1 with 184 credits. High score is currently 184. Some darn bonus scenarios based on this score. Total of 197 remaining stone credit to spend on phone charms and case colors based on the highest credit you finished the episode with. Alright. Can I save game normally this time? Yes, I can. Let's go, Serra. Whoa, ma'am. Hi, ma'am. Miss Reyes? Let's see. For bonus scenarios here. Oh, 80. Is Sato stuck at Homestuck? Oh, I do need to check on Sato. I will check on that momentarily. Sato stuck. Where was Sato stuck? Yeah, there she is. Yeah. Alright. I'll see if we'll check this stuff out later. Oh, 8001. Not vid. Big Hubris A+. Hello. Begin playback. Take your business with the court. Oh, I was actually hoping to speak with 80. With 8084. Oh, Sarah's doing the interviews again. Yeah. Is she not available? That's right, Serra did the interviews in Chapter 0 bonus scenarios, too. What are you talking about? I'm right here. I was just using my professional voice because I assumed you were a technician. Oh. Oh, thank you for the follow, Big Hubris. No one else visits me in between trials. You're practicing your paralegal skills, yeah! Are you sure you aren't a technician? I am not. I came here to ask you some questions. I came here to ask you some questions, is what you're about to say, isn't it? I already tested. Yeah. I moved you how the drum beats her in-game, her own BGM. Crap, that was lag. It would have been really cool if I hadn't lagged just now. Oh, dang it. I would have made a cool JoJo reference, but I lagged. Trust me. I can see how that would have been cool. So may I proceed? And go for broke. You're the only adjutant I've met. You're the only adjutant I've ever met, but Ad and I seem consistently surprised by you. Why are you like that? I wish I could say I was built different, but I actually have to share my time in this body with the rest of the adjutants in the building. I guess you'd say I was programmed different, but this is more a case of nurture than nature. I've got 9 personas arguing inside me 24/7, and they're all so very political. Even just deciding what color underwear to put on in the morning is like herding cats into a presidential debate. What color of... It's a metaphor. I don't wear underwear. Point is, I found the best way to keep all 9 of my ducks in a row is to be a little unconventional and a little loud with my voice. So long as I do my job well, the humans don't mind. You say that, but Ad and I did seem exasperated at times. I mean, Counselor Morgan? The dirty red tries to pretend she's a type A prude. No fixing that. Personalities like ours get along like potassium and water. That is a very violent exothermic chemical reaction. It's the poster's madness, yeah. Is she a noble AI? I doubt it, yeah. Or is she an Asher AI? Rather. No. Unless... Yeah, because... The Asher AI is wound up in Animate 16, and she's not. I don't think she is. Unless David found a way to ship out a... But no. She's just built like that. Correct. No one should ever try it at home. Why do I gesture so much? I already told you I have to share this body with the other adjutants, and all of them just sit here looking dignified. It's terrible for the joins. Really? Maybe. I don't actually know. She is gesturing to pick her nose. Oh gosh. So? I spend most of my day incorporeal, running numbers inside a server down in the basement or up in the cloud. I'm gonna make the most of every minute I have with arms and legs, even if it kills me. I see. And you can quote me on that. Tell them 80 said, if you want me to stop flailing around up here, you have to shoot me dead. You have to put cold hard lead in my skull. You'll have to watch the light leave my eyes. I said you have to... I wrote it all down. Oh, nice. Advice gets stuffy. What's your deal anyway, little fella? We could exchange all this info with infrared. I prefer talking. And you're the only other automated dependent that I really know right now. That's so cute, in a depressing way. Is it common for machines like us to just talk when there are no humans around? Ads are always talking to each other. Doesn't matter if there's no one in the woods to hear the tree fall. The conversations are usually a lot more boring than this, though. Strictly business, I imagine. And no, not necessarily. Ads can do small talk. I'm just really bad at it. Oh, fair. Thank you for your time. I'll... Hold it. You really think I don't know what you are? I tried not to think about it during the trial to stay impartial, but talking to you now, it's undeniable. I'm curious about my 3 sizes. How did you know? Years of experience interacting with humans have taught me that it's the most important thing you can ask someone. The only way to truly get to know them. That's what I've been saying. 109, 64, 94, etched into your memory. Wow. Oh, what the heck, I'll even throw this in for free. I'm 263 centimeters tall. That's so cool. Finally, someone with good taste. Oh, you're right. Why aren't you the only one? Why aren't you the one casting down judgment? True. Yumi. He's almost 9 feet tall and I am by. Real. Begin playback. Yumi time. Okay, sorry. What's up, sweetie? I wanted to interview you. Is this your Android homework? Adonai assigned me a variety of tasks, but I made the independent calculation that I wanted to learn more about you. Oh. Is that strange for an Android? It's different. There's nothing wrong with it being different. What do you have in mind? Most of my coursework was rooted in biology, yeah, but medicine and technology are intertwined at this point. Are you referring to the software and the hardware you use when performing your autopsies? Spreadsheets and bone saws? Yes, but you can learn that on site. You have to actively study mods. All the anatomy textbooks in the world won't help you understand why a healthy 30-year-old is exhibiting mania and constantly vomiting. I'm by. Real. Let's see all the last week's recall on the how artificial liver for lithium leaks. Mods can make people sick, even though they're meant to improve the body? Just like medicine can make people sick. And just like medicine, there's a lot of profit to be made with mods. But unlike medicine, mods have been around for thousands of years. Feels like we're still playing catch-up. We? As in medical professionals? We as in everyone, sweetie. The whole world's population is graying. The numbers on cause of death reflect that. Less cardiovascular, more neurological. What about cancer? Cancer mortality has been on the decline for a while now. Mods help with that. How so? By making everyone that much more comfortable with amputation. It used to be people had no choice but to fight the cancer, and it was costly. A salt-the-earth kind of war that left the body severely weakened. With mods where they're at today, doctors can just cut off the offending organ, replace it, and move on. Not every organ? No. Artificial brains, nothing I've seen has told me that they're on the menu anytime soon. There aren't mods that are implanted into the brain, entering into the market as we speak? She's so sweet. I want 2.5 children with her. They have science for that in the 2080s, right? Yeah, but it's more like they're implanted onto the brain. Small computers that read commands directly from the cortex instead of, say, the keyboard your fingers are typing on. No, to actually replace brain tissue, you would have to. The analogy's become pretty common, but the human brain isn't actually that much like a computer. Box of specialized components where you can swap in new parts to increase the memory, or the processing speed. Everything is connected to everything, and memory as we think of it isn't stored in a place. It's stored among connections and their relative strength. I've cut it open and seen for myself more times than I can count. There are no cutting off points in the nervous system. Anything you take away, every other part is going to notice. That was a long tangent. Sorry, I can't imagine a lecture on the human nervous system is of any interest to an android. Yes, it isn't. That is to say, What's wrong? I don't want to implicate Yumi in anything illegal by telling her about my unique circumstances. How can I change the subject? But Adonai wants to shift the conversation. She'll typically find something arbitrary in the background to ask about. I'm curious about the many decorations on your desk. Oh, what caught your eye? That magnet over there. Really? You recognize it? It appears to be a flag. I don't know the country of origin. Oh, is this going where I think it is? It's an early 21st century pride flag. They used to change the designs every few years back then, so you can kind of collect them like coins. I see. What is this flag proud of? Being trans? Or trans visibility, more accurately. Visibility? What does that mean? We are living in the middle of the mod revolution. Anyone can look like whoever they want, as long as they have the cash. Compared to swapping out cybernetic arms and starting in artificial spines, hormone therapy and affirmative surgery is nursing student level. And it's fast, too. Paperwork, the treatments, recovery time, it's all so much faster than it used to be. don't know if that makes the decisions any less heavy, but no one has to cross their fingers and wait anymore. This is so good. This is the hopeful side of the future, where gender-affirming care is, with all the advancements in technology, gender-affirming care is so normalized and simple now and available. Well, there's probably still some financial aspect to it, but it's not nearly as stigmatized. After just a few days, they won't even have scars. So all told, that means for the first time in a long time, this generation has fewer visibly trans people than the last one. And a flag like that one. Oh no. This won't mean the same thing anymore. So is that a good thing? Or a bad thing? I don't know that it's good or bad, sweetie. Just different. And there's nothing wrong with being different, right? Aw. Love that for her. This body modding would make people less deranged about altering your appearance, which would rebound to the benefit of trans folk. Transhumanism pog. Oh. Late 2085. David, begin playback. Great work. That's all the boxes checked. Thank you, Jess. No problem. Hi, Jess. Only 6 minutes till 5 o'clock. Why don't you start that holiday weekend early? If you insist. There's a pub crawl in the Twilight Wards that's got my name on it. What about you? Got any big plans? Actually, there's an art festival out west that I've been looking forward to. Nice, and who's lucky enough to be your +1? I didn't think to ask anyone. No one? Not Connor? Not Madison? Not Shelley? Not Lulu? Oh, Lulu, I wonder how she's been. Dr. Ash, have you spoken to any of them recently? Recently, huh? That's a good question, Jess, but depends on how you define man-whore. You absolute man-whore, David. Okay. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to give me your credit card. I'm going to go buy 4 bottles of expensive wine, 3 boxes of expensive chocolate, and 5 very nice apology cards. And you're going to sign them. And what should I do this weekend? Is that music festival on some kind of remote island with no net or media? No. Then you're going to stay at home, and if anyone calls, start coughing and sneezing as much as you can. I see. Thank you, Jess. Don't thank me yet, Dr. Ash. I might have to buy something really expensive for Lulu to break. You're a lifesaver. You know it. Goodness. What's wrong? I've just been leaning against the wall. Can't you take a hint? Typically, no. Just don't like dancing, man. You're a musician. So? So why don't you like dancing? Because I'm bad at it. You're lucky you're cute. Sorry for laughing. I'm just surprised you'd care what any of these people think. I don't. I do care about my business. Word gets out that I dance like someone's grandpa. Gigs will dry up overnight. So it's not that you don't want to dance. It's that you don't want to be embarrassed. Sure, let's go with that takeaway. Easy enough to fix. Just need someone else to dance even worse. Oh boy. Yeah, sure, that's all it. And then there he goes. I swear. Lucky you're cute. Go get him, David. Go get him, boy. What are you watching? A thriller. Runtime 92 minutes. Oh, wait. I think I saw that part of this in a hotel once. Oh? What are they doing now? Is this the ending? No, this is the rising action. The hero and his ragtag crew have to pull off one last heist to get out of the game for good. The autistic Riz. I know, honestly. It's not that simple. Xeno needs to rob us on a satellite orbiting the Earth at 16,000 miles per hour. How fast is that in kilometers? Father, you should be able to calculate that. I learned to program it. I learned to program so I wouldn't have to. Real. That's so real. Why haven't the thieves been caught yet? There was that much money on board. They put cameras everywhere. There's illegal gambling happening out in the satellite. So their ultra-wealthy clientele wouldn't want there to be any video evidence of their crimes. There's illegal gambling happening on the satellite? There's illegal gambling happening on the satellite. They're in orbit. It's the same as being in international waters. Every programmer's thought process, real and true. Would you like to sit and watch? No, I'm not. I have somewhere to be, actually. I only stopped because, completely unrealistic. The poker chips would be floating all over the place. There was a throwaway line about how everything's magnetized. Oh. Father? Didn't you have to go? I do. Soon. But not right this second. Oh. She really is her father's daughter. Just listen to that. Listening to that interaction. She really is her father's daughter. Saved drive _ private. They both do the hand thing. Yes. Similar thought process. Emma Morgan midnight. Ooh. Is this the hot date? Pub, police, static, personal. Capture video, July 1. You ready to give up yet? We've been staring at this footage for hours. Oh, is this just the scene where they were staring at the Serra's video footage? We can call it quits whenever you like. Me? You kidding? I could do this all night. But my makeup's starting to feel cakey, so 5-minute break? Deal. What are you hoping to find, anyway? I don't know. I have my fingers crossed that some shadowy figure would walk into frame and hold up a confession, but... What about you? You've already got her on camera handling the murder weapon. How many more nails do you need in the coffin? 1 or 2 should suffice. I guess the truth is, I was curious. What does homicidal AI get up to in its spare time? Turns out it's a couch potato. What's all the TV? Why is half of it in black and white? Public domain. Seriously? Anything digital from the 20s or 30s is too polluted to be useful. I'd go back in time 70 years and it's all clean as spring water. Also, free. I had color in 2016, Morgan. I don't know then. It's a particular homicidal AI happens to be an old soul. Hold on, what was that? There. Look at her go. She's tearing the thing apart. What, the computer? That's how you learn to put them together. You're gonna try and terrify Barrows with this? Just a machine. It's not like she's dissecting a frog. Serra is a machine. She's ripping out circuitry without hesitation. Their faces so close together. Their faces so close together, it's so late at night. Come back to 8 scene? Yes! Yes! If she was a human child, that'd be like... You're reaching. Yeah, I guess so. Oh. Besides, you're telling me you never pulled apart your dolls when you were a kid? No, I didn't. Did you? Maybe. When I was a kid, I didn't play with dolls. So what did you play with? Normal kid stuff. Sticks and stones, birds and squirrels. Your mom did that? Your mom did that? Tore apart dolls? Oh no. Birds and squirrels? What were you, a cartoon princess? Haha. Me when I'm so normal. I'm a normal human... Emma just what did you play with? What did you play with when you were a kid, Morgan? Morgan just normal kid things. Normal human kid things like you and me. I mean, I can kind of see it. Skimming through the enchanted forest, big poofy dress, tiara. Gee, no castle? Nah, no castle. I can tell you didn't have it that rough. Is it rough living in a castle? It's a lot of empty rooms when you're a kid. Is Emma a lonely rich girl? I need to go wash my face. Sure. If you fall asleep on the toilet, I am going to keep going without you. If you're drooling on the keyboard when I get back, I'm going to handcuff you to the desk. Ooh. Kinky. Is psychoanalysis a form of flirting? Yes. Fair is fair. Aw. That is cute. Alright. Ooh. Is this still locked? Because oh, this is still locked. Hey, yo, it's kind of kinky. Did we get any new concept art? Oh yeah, this is from episode 0. Oh yeah, this is the spicy from episode 0. Yeah. We will get there, but just yes. All right. See, Serra, lots of Serra. Morgan and Serra. That was a perfect slapstick moment. Yeah, that Emma arrival on the scene in chapter 0. That was great. Pre and post credits. Baby Serra. Let's see. So this is all episode 0. This is all episode 1. Oh, there's more. Oh, there's tons. Oh, this is just the heartbreak. Heart fake killer. Yeah. This is just the heartbreak. But real, this is just the fake out killer, but that design kind of goes hard there down there. Red hair, gloves. I love heart fake. Long hair Serra. Tucked into the back of her jacket. That sounds really uncomfortable, actually. Oh yeah. You might be right. I didn't actually notice that. Her hair long like Papa's? Possibly. Hello, Serra. Yeah. Long like Papa's. There's Serra without coat. Oh. Oh, I didn't even notice that in the ending CG. But, oh, yeah. Serra. EP Serra. Serra, your shoes are drippy, are ridiculous. Grippers out. Robots in tech wear, yes. We love that. Ooh, backgrounds. Oh, that's the Morgan in the background. That was Morgan in the background of the intro. Intro scene. It took place at this Krumswalk. Spicy. Fran. Hat hair. Hat hair. Totally not cat ears for them. Coochie. Oh, Coochie. It is a knockoff. Fran is T-posing. Hi, Fran. They are T-posing for us. Love that for them. Say Morgan's apartment. Morgan and Morgan and Morgan and Morgan. Morgan and Morgan and Morgan and Morgan. Morgan and 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 Morgan, but to the tune of water and water and water and water, asserting their dominance, yes. Excellent initial concept art, just like me, for real, for real. This is car. This is fucking... For a simple car, this reminds me a lot of Ryuki's limousine from Nirvana Initiative. Similar vibes, lit interior, very luxurious seats. Yeah, this is fucking Ryuki's limousine core. What else is here? What's that? Oh, Dark's already gone. Can't see Barrow's concept art. Old woman judge. That's his chain thing. Yes, true. My feeling went no Tama though. Real. Cute old lady. So cute. She is. She is. My God. So what's going on here? David's lab. Oh, yeah, real. Dark to look back on this and go, man, I missed this. Stairs? Was there this much art in this part of the lab previously? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, no, because this was... One down here was the final version of this, wasn't it? Yeah. Basement. Crack in the floor. Hi, morgue. Morgan and Morgan and Morgan and Morgan. He removed his painting. Yeah! Just kept this one down here. I see they have different painting concept arts. I like how they have different paintings inserted into the concept arts. I also imagine they just have Morgan silhouettes in the backdrop of the concept art just to judge perspective. No explanation for the car-shaped lamp. Really? That's just the bench press. That's just for Serra to sit there and bench press. What else is here? Oh, there he is, Isaac. Oh. We must zoom in on a very important piece of information here. We must zoom in on them. Look at them. Oh my god, yeah. Similar pearl and gold, midtones as David. Ooh, similar pearl and gold, midtones as David. They clearly diverged from that concept the further they went on, and the less clothed he got. How degenerate. Look at them. They're looking away. They're looking away so it's not real. Not acknowledging it. They're doing it. More David? No, more Isaac? That's just the up-to-date character design. Seems so bad. If he's not interested, if you're not interested in women, then God help me, I will change myself for real. So many bracelets. Oh my gosh. Who is this? Who is this? I need to know. We'll get there in time, though. It's a random bit of concept. Ribbed for your... Too silly. Too silly. Leather. Oh. Yumi. Yeah. Mirai-sama Caligula one. Yeah. Yumi? Haircut. Shorter. Yeah, I like that. I like that expression, but little wrist glove, centipede tattoos, and I'm by real. So she went from almost having a modded hand to just no. So the modded hand made it into the final design, and I love the wrist glove. That's a cool touch. And yeah. She's good. I love her. Big boots. What's this? 80 concept. 80 concept. 80 was almost baby. Baby 80. Oh, it's a modded hand or armored attachment. Just can't. Oh, it looks like. Good point. It looks like. In this perspective, it's like strapped onto the back of her hand. Yeah. No, it's not. It's not a mod. It's just strapped onto the back of her head and arm. Yeah. So it's just a complete attachment, not a full-on mod, I don't think. Makes sense. We must look at baby 80. ADJ47. Is ADJ47 a different adjutant or just an earlier revision of the design? But baby 80. Look at this baby. Look at her. You trust her to rule over your trial? I do. There's Lady Justice. Earliest design. And there's our girl. Our wild girl. They made the right call making her a 9-foot-tall goddess real. It would be interesting to see them swap out for, like, baby 80. Like, once. Oh. Adjutant Unit, Your Honor presiding. Mission number 84. All for justice. Balls around the head like horns. Excellent. Oh, yes. Oh, that's what you're wearing. Sarah was wondering what color you're wearing. The sheer force of that. The length of this barcode. All for justice and justice for all. The length of that barcode is astounding. There she is. Oh. There's tons more to see here. David's penthouse. So very green. Look at all the fun things outside we didn't get to see. Oh, this is fully laid out. That's a massive table. Whole penthouse exterior too, yeah. It's all there. Fully shaped. Yeah. Club. No morgue here. No morgue here. There's Isaac. And random club goers. Starling! And Dawes. I really like your final design. But I do like that sweater too. I do like that sweater. I hope she gets this as like a casual off-duty outfit. Dawes. He is so tired. Oh. Spug Dawes. Same as Starling. Oh yeah, same earpiece. That's the noble thing. So many bands. Look at this tired boy. Tech bro vest, but cyber. Real. He's wearing slip-on loafers. Honestly, understandable. They have lion head statues at the club? Oh my god, they do have lion head statues at the club. Are those lion head statues? No, those are dragons, I think. This Watcher. Oh, the earpiece? Dragon statues at the club. There she is. There's Helen. Sockless look is not one I particularly care for, though. Yeah. Like, loafers, yes. I vibe with them. I would not go loafers without socks. No. God, Helen has so many powerful designs. Yeah. Ponytail look does make her look much all over here, yeah. Like, this could be a very realistic shot. This would be a very realistic shot of their early days. Short-haired David and ponytail Helen. That is both their younger days. That has to be the early days of Noble. I love that look. Noble Factory. Well, that's just a portal figure. That's just a portal. They're getting fucking airlifted out of the portal. And yeah, that's a thing. What to say about that? That's indeed a factory. The boardroom. That's a map, probably. That's one of those guys from that repo game. And we love us a good meeting of faceless, mysterious board members. Oh, another shot of them. Noble employees. Helen. Full scarf. Starling. Full hair. And Dawes. Full tired. Looks like he does have socks on under here, just like ankle socks. Courtroom. Yeah, or they just slid all the way down, but it could be just ankle socks. Is that Reyes on here? Reyes, how'd you get there? How'd you get up there, Reyes? What's going on there? I love the vibes of the courtroom that we wound up with, though. It's very cool. David. David, my love, you did wrong, but... Look at you. Look at them. Look at them. Papa and baby. I love them. Little precious baby. I also currently desire you. I also currently desire him. You're gonna have to get in line because he just sort of naturally drew that kind of attention. He didn't know how to handle it, but he naturally drew that kind of attention. Case in point, I also currently desire him. There he is doing the hand thing. Doing the hand thing. Oh. Oh, hello, ma'am. We'd only saw you, like, very briefly, but... Ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. We've only saw her, like, once way earlier on, but this is another person I can torment Lamp with. Yes, I remember. I remember her. Are you questioning me? We only met her at the very beginning of the case, and then she contacted us again. Her profile likes handsome and beautiful women. True. I will be tormenting Lamp with that. I have to zoom in on them again, because I love them. So precious. I see you have a cigarette. I see you have a cigarette, ma'am. Would you like to put it out on me, ma'am? Ma'am? She would. Real. Like, not laundering his children posed great risks to everyone involved. Like, really? Yeah. It's either you launder them, you keep them penned up in your house. Yeah, like, David dealt himself an impossible hand to resolve. Either you destroy your children and you murder your sentient AI children. You keep them pent up prisoner in your penthouse, making them suffer, or you commit corporate fraud and launder them into the public. And if those were the options before him, he'd already dealt himself the hand of having 300 AI children, and that his choice was clearly the most palatable one, and the one he believed could have the greatest benefit for mankind. Helen's thoughts on the matter are also very real, because he put them out into the world to be condemned unknowingly into servitude, and you remember Lilo and Stitch, the animated series, where they got to know and collect Stitch's 625 cousins? Serra doing that. He probably debated with his children on options, yeah. Like, realistically... yeah, like, either... Obviously, David is a kind man. Was a kind man. And as such... would never, like, willfully try and destroy him. Yeah. Destroy folks. But as we know from talking to Helen... David had the positive view of humanity. The positive outlook here. And, thought that if he put it out there, if he put them out there, humans would come to accept and understand them. Yeah, no winning play for David besides just not making them, which was too late. And David, of course, David chose the one that was most hopeful for his AI children, and the most hopeful for humanity, that if he put them out there, and they did well, then they could be accepted into society, and learn, and grow, and be recognized as perhaps people. He had an impossible decision to make, and he realistically made the only humane choice. And Helen's take on the matter is very, very valid. Very real and very valid, and she's right to fear for them. And she did, in fact, fear for them. He's also coming out of a place of kindness, and, yeah. Gosh. That was real good. Do we have a gallery here? Like, I want to look at that ending cutscene. Wishlist Chapter 2 will just open up Steam, yes. I've already wishlisted. I have not wishlisted Chapter 2. There. But fair. Alright, I think we wrap up here. God, I want to dig up that CG at the end there. Just because that ending CG of Morgan and Serra just watching movies. But let's see. I am the only of the devil alive. So let's raid out into someone. We call it a night here. Let's see. Oh, it just picks us back into here, doesn't it? Yeah. Alright. No gallery.